That's not at all. I called Guess Who this morning.
Who?
The Guess Who, the band,
Oh.
Randy Bachman.
Okay.
I called him this morning and I said, would you do me a favor and call Brittany and tell her, American woman, get away from me?
Yeah, I wish that was the case. You came in and immediately, it was like a 2-second pause. What is it, a tomb in here?
Well, Jesus Christ, I walk in this place and it's like,
what do you want us to?
let's go.
I'm so confused.
Let's get fired up. Come on, sister.
You want us to be doing like lunges in place and like
smiling would be nice. Saying hello.
We both said hello.
No, you didn't.
Oh, okay.
Nope, you're out of the mix.
I'm gonna film our next morning.
You're gonna film it,
and just have proof that yes, of course we say hello.
No, you don't.
Yes,
you go here. Okay, here's how it is. Like.
Yeah, well, that's what you hear, which
that's
is
what you do.
You bad hearing, you.
Honest to God,
human.
20 years of torture from you.
20 years
That's
of torture.
all I'm saying. It's torture all across the board. I made a huge mistake last night, and I didn't know I was making a huge mistake last night because Catherine's out. And by the way, let me run this by both of you and all of our listeners. What does Catherine know that I don't? Because I look at the weather every day. Is it a coincidence that she happens to leave town when the weather's going to be horrible for 7 straight days? Is that a coincidence?
She's smart.
Oh, that's what it is. She just gets the hell out.
She's just like, I need a break from.
Oh, so you look at me. I see. Okay. Yeah, okay.
No, she just needs a break from her everyday rigmarole.
Oh, yeah, because that's shoulder to the wheel. There's
Same.
no doubt about it.
Same.
No, but I just, every time she leaves town, the weather sucks. I don't get it.
I mean, I also think, I'm not a therapist.
Yes, you are.
You just seem
You need therapy.
You just seem to notice anything that's bad when she's gone.
You think that's what it is, really?
Yeah, because
I hate when she's gone. I do. I hate it.
We are aware. I talked to your friend Mike Bilski this morning when he called you, and he
Bilski called in, yeah.
I was like, he's unbearable today, and he goes, it's because Catherine's gone.
Probably could. What do you mean unbearable?
You are unbearable.
You're such a candy ass. It's unbelievable. Like I said, you walk in here, it's like.
It's like quiet for 2 seconds.
Palomino.
Do you want me to read like this?
Yeah. Now you're cooking with gas. Yeah, could you play a little music behind you when you do that? Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
I'll play music when you come in.
I will tell you one thing.
What?
This is for all the listeners and both of you. On the way in every day, I listen to a different morning show on the way in.
Yeah.
At first I listened to a lot of Hubbard morning shows because I wanted to familiarize myself with the people on stuff and this, that, and the other thing. But honest to God, there are some things being said in other radio stations that aren't owned by the Hubbard. It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I don't understand. What happened to it?
I don't know. Why are you putting yourself through torture like that?
Because it's my job to know what's going on, sister.
Well, what are they saying?
Yeah, tell us.
God, there was one example of. I think mostly what it is, Rudy, is they're really trying hard to be funny. Mm-hmm. And when you're trying to be funny, you're not funny.
Well, I don't know if you know this, Tom, but radio people, as an essence, in their whole.
As an essence, I like that.
Typically, not funny.
You're 100% right.
That's why they do radio.
Well, see, I agree with you. Yeah. I couldn't agree with you more. There's no question about that. But see, I never got up this late.
Yeah.
So I never got to listen to morning shows because we were the first morning show on over at the Q. So I haven't heard morning radio in 37 years.
It would drive me nuts. When I was doing a morning show in Wisconsin, I told the program director, they were trying to put me with some people that I said, they're not funny.
Right.
And they said, well, I know, but they have radio experience. I said, I don't give a shit if they have radio experience. Let me find somebody. Let me go to like the improv troops. Let me go around local. You guys aren't paying dick anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
I'll find somebody who's willing to come in here for $20K a year who is funny, and I can teach them how to push a button like a monkey. It's not that hard. But give me somebody who is funny. And they're like, we think we're going to go with Devin out of Davenport, Iowa. I'm like, Devin sucks. Like, Devin should not be on the radio.
Right.
And yeah, so that's where it happens, is that somebody gets 6 months under their belt in a small market, and someone's like, oh, we can pay this guy peanuts to come and work for us.
Oh, I think that's exactly, especially these hedge fund-owned radio stations.
Yeah.
They want to spend as little money as possible, and that's why their product sucks.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Do you think there's a lot of that going on in America, not just in radio, but obviously at every level.
You want to know where you see it the most? Healthcare.
Really?
These poor nurses. It's
I didn't know that.
awful. It's awful what hospitals are doing to nurses right now. Just terrible.
What are they doing?
Well, they're spending so much they're almost making it like my mom has been healthcare and a nurse for 35 years.
Wow.
And she teaches nursing and has been around it forever. And basically what they are doing is they are just trying to get Yelp reviews. They are making the hospital almost into a hotel. They want your stay. Instead of giving the nurses what they need to be able to make you better or make their jobs easier, they want the customer at the end of the day to be like, no, there was a very nice picture frame in my hospital room. It's like, who cares about any of that stuff? Why are you spending money on remodeling rooms when you barely have enough?
Right.
You don't have the supplies to be able to keep your patients healthy. They're taking they're taking no pun intended, they're taking the knife out of the surgeon's hand.
Yeah. I mean, with and same thing with what Rudy's talking about is like, so their big thing too is they want to make money because it's a hospital.
That's it. Yeah.
And so they're finding that, man, if we cut back here, and I'm telling you, Rudy's so spot on. Nurses are getting the terrible end of this deal because they're working overtime. And then keep in mind, every nurse is the last person who distributes medication, who distributes, the doctor's orders. So if they screw up, it's on them. Even if the doctor wrote the wrong prescription, the pharmacist prescribes the wrong prescription. If that nurse hands it to them, it's on them.
Yeah, you're right.
And they're overworked, and they're like, there's not enough help. I mean, it's wild. Nurses right now, that's a hard profession.
Why don't we focus on people who actually want to work their ass off and protect them instead of they fall victims to everything? Why do we do that?
I don't know.
Makes no sense to me.
Nurses feel like the middle class of America.
Yeah,
I know.
Well, you think lower middle class?
Well, like we're the ones that the middle class is the one that always gets squeezed out.
Well, that's true.
You know,
Yes,
and
that
like
is
they
true.
always take the brunt of everything. And I feel like
know.
nurses are definitely like the whipping post.
And like we were so lucky. I'm telling you, because we went to Fairview Southdale Hospital for Gogo for being, for delivering her.
Mm-hmm.
I loved her. Our doctor was fine. We saw her for maybe in a cumulative 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
The whole time, it was constant nurses, constant. And it was just, God, they were, I bet you people name their babies after them all the time. I bet
Probably,
you, because they were the most talented people I think I've ever met. And they cared so much. And they were like, it was shocking to me. I was like, I know what they're, I kind of have an idea what they're getting paid and the hours they're asked to work, and they still show up. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, as you know, I just had that. You two are the only cancers left in my life after I had that one cut out of my cheek. You know what I mean?
So dramatic.
No, but honestly, when I had that cut out,
Yeah.
What do you mean I'm so dramatic? Anyway, so when I went in, I had to do the checkup, and then I had the surgery and blah, blah, blah. The nurses, you couldn't believe how wonderful they were.
I know.
Friendly, got a smile on their face. Hey, let me help you out. You okay? Is anything hurt? They're wonderful, wonderful people.
It must be because it's their calling, because you don't do it for money. You don't do it for fame. You must do it because you really want to help people. And that shows. I loved our nurses.
I got pushed out to the car in a wheelchair, because you do whenever you have surgery. They take you out in a wheelchair.
Did somebody walk by go, sugar tit all the way?
Sugar tit all the way, Tom. Get your ass out of that wheelchair. She pushes me up to the car, and as I'm standing up to get, because I could stand. It was on my face, not on my legs or back or anything, so I had no trouble walking or whatever. But I get up to get in the car. She goes, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm getting in the car." She goes, "Not yet, you aren't." And she gives me a big hug.
Oh.
I mean, how sweet is that? That's what a nurse really is. They care enough. They kind of form like a relationship with you. I know it's a short-term relationship.
Sure.
Hopefully
but it's
it
great.
is, yeah.
Well, you could hang on forever. You never know, right? No, I agree with you both 100% that nurses. I don't think we've ever had any nurses in my family. I don't think. Although my mother only went through the 8th grade, so I don't think you can become a nurse when you've only been through 8th grade.
Yeah.
You think?
No, I think but you can do, assistant nursing without a degree.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot of really cool things. It's just, man, those people are compassionate.
They are.
We did I did fall semester in nursing school this last year, and I did a clinical in a long-term care facility, and man, people are impressive. They will make things work with little to no resources.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Yeah, I understand. I agree with you both completely on that. I don't think I've ever run into a nurse that was a pain in the ass. I don't think that's ever happened to me.
No Nurse Ratchets in your life?
No, not that I'm thinking back as far as I can. They're always very, very pleasant. And almost every one of them are listeners. They were at this thing that I just did back in March. One thing I do have to tell you guys, though, because I ran into some people again yesterday, and I talked to Amy about this. So she's putting up instructions on on our website on how to download the podcast. Mm-hmm. I had 3 more people yesterday come up and go, "Are you ever going to get back into radio?" I said, "No, why? What do you mean?" They said, "Well, we'd like to listen." I said, "Oh, so you don't even know I have." Most people, and this is how it always is, by the way, with podcasting particularly, is at first about 5% of the people even know you're on the air. That's a bitch to get over that hump, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you got to be aggressive about it. I would say right now about 5 to 7% of the Twin Cities even know the show is on. That's a bitch, don't you think?
Well, I feel like we need to get more friends. Get out there.
You're not going to get any more friends. You don't have any friends because you're a disaster.
I didn't say. You're right. First, step one, I'll get 1 friend, and then I'm going to double that.
Alex.
Yeah.
I got Alex. That's
Catherine,
true.
that's 2.
That's 2. Does Jude count?
Jude counts because he loves you. No doubt about it.
Well, Rudy's been doing a good job with our videos, and they're getting more and more traction. So I don't know.
Indeed.
What do you want me to do? Get a billboard?
I'm just telling you. I don't need you to do anything other than be in a good mood for once.
You are in a good mood. It's kind of eerie.
I'm always in a good mood.
Oh,
the
really?
The 2 of you are a goddamn disaster.
Can I get that in
like to
writing?
point out.
I'm always in a good mood.
Always. God damn it. There you have it. You know what? Honest to God, I have known people, if they ever are happy, it means they're not happy. They're just trying to cover up their displeasure.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Have you ever met somebody like that?
Yeah.
Like when they pretend to be happy, it's like, oh, God, better stay away from him.
It's like when they're singing, all of a sudden you're like, uh-oh.
Uh-oh. There's going to be some problems.
Yeah, I don't like being around those people. I get nervous around people that are unpredictable.
That is, yeah, I could see that being a problem. But yeah, we're thank you so much for coming up and saying hello. And they love the show, by the way. That's now 18 people in the last couple of 2-3 weeks, whatever it's been, that have come up, and we're trying to figure out. You know what? I'm going to follow Joe Souchere's lead, though. I didn't know that he did this, but I was told yesterday, so I'm going to start doing it too. Whenever somebody like that would walk up to him when his show started, what is that, 5 years ago or whatever, or something like that, he would say, well, if you don't mind, just give me your phone. He would go on their phone and put the app on there and go, here's how you listen to the show.
That's what I did at Park
great.
Tavern.
Yeah, you did. That's right.
I did that with a bunch of people at Park Tavern because they were saying,
Yep.
well, da-da-da, and I said, just give me your phone. But I do that. I have terrible boundaries, if anyone didn't notice. And I try to steal your phone constantly whenever you're like, well, I can't do this. I'm like, just give me your phone. Because
you and Alex both are big at that.
just give it, because I'm not going to talk you through it.
No, I don't want you to talk me through. Talk me down, man. Talk me off the cliff.
I cannot.
No, one of the reasons maybe it is that I come in, because you guys don't watch the news before you come in the morning, right?
No.
You were both telling me you don't.
no.
You
God,
don't
no.
watch the
Who
news.
has time to do
I
stuff?
have to watch the news to know what the hell's good. There might be some big stuff cooking, right? But you carry that baggage with you.
I know.
You do. There's no question about that. There's a story this morning, and I'm like, really? But I've gotten to the point I'm laughing about this stuff now. There is a outfit out there that wants college students who are going to medical school to be separated by race.
What?
Yep. They want to. They think they can
No.
get better focus if they're all the same race.
No, that's not a real
That
thing.
is a fact. You can look it up right on your computer.
You're
there, sister.
finding news stories that are finding. You're going to, like, that is the weirdest
Yeah.
thing to get hyper focused on.
Are you sure you're not going to theonion.com?
Yeah,
I should
that
go to the
is-
Onion. I'd have a better time. I'll tell you that. Is that still good?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I used to love the Onion back in the day. No, I watch all 5 of them, the national deals, while I'm I go for like a 1.5 mile walk in my house in the morning.
Which is, I would not.
I got to be honest with you, though. If I don't do it, it changes me. One of the reasons I'm in such a good mood when I get here is because I work out before I come here.
It blows my mind when we had the talk about you guys' dogs pooping and you picking it up in the morning. I was drinking coffee this morning, watching Murphy poop in our front yard, going, I'm not going to pick that up. And I thought of both of
It was
you.
in your yard, though.
Yeah, I'm just saying, thinking of Rudy running out there in the morning, picking
we
up his
do.
dog's poop in the morning.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have a flashlight in my mouth every morning. No
See,
joke.
there you go.
I have a cup of coffee in one hand and a poop bag in the other with a flashlight in my mouth, and I pick up after my dog because it is the grossest thing to be walking through someone's yards that it's just covered in dog crap.
We do it almost every day as we walk around and pick up poop, but I'm going to get you a headlamp because I feel like
It's a good thing.
And we're gonna
Miner's helmet.
yeah, and we're going to see you like on next door. They'll be like, dear man at 5 a.m. with lamp on head. Stay
Awesome.
out of our window.
But in any case, I mean, one of us does it, and I'm happy doing it because I've been doing it my whole damn life, is I do watch all the different news stations for about 5 minutes apiece, something like that, because you always get their top stories. So, yeah, I go for like 30-minute walk or whatever, so I can get all 5 of them in that. I guess it's about 6 minutes apiece, something like that. And the reason I do that is I want to make sure there's something not real serious going on that we all should know about and blah, blah, blah. But then you do pick up what struck me about this whole deal, and I did you look up the story to know that I'm telling you the truth?
I looked it up,
Yep.
and it's so old. I don't know what.
Well, it might be a different one then. Because this one just happened this week, or last week, I guess.
This was 2022.
Yeah,
April.
this is new.
Trend of racially segregating campus events is putting institutions on dangerous legal ground.
There you go.
So I can't find the new one.
You know why they're doing this, of course. Did you ever read The Art of War? Everyone should be required to read The Art of War.
I've read some of it.
You have, okay.
Yes.
So you know the number one thing you do in The Art of War is separate and conquer.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. They're trying to keep us all separate as much as they can, because then they can just kick our ass and they win all the fights.
Yeah.
And by they, I'm talking about the politicians and the big business people.
I don't think this is as widespread. Like somebody on that news organization found this and was like, I'm going to make this a top story. But this is not widespread.
Well, it is this morning. I mean, that one's a year and a half old. You said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is new. I wish maybe I should have jotted down what. And again, it's not that big a story. I don't want to focus on the story. That's not what I'm saying. I want to focus on the fact that this divide and conquer thing is getting bigger and bigger and bigger in America. And don't forget, the smaller your group gets, the easier it is to kick your ass.
Yeah.
So be careful with all this stuff. That's all I'm saying. Right?
Good call.
My mom just texted in and said it's Nurses Week this week, so it was a good time to
I
give
love
a
it.
pat on the back to the nurses. So.
Your mom's so neat.
There you have it.
I didn't know your mom taught nurses too. That's amazing.
It's Nurses Week. Yeah. Very good.
Matt, he said, thank you for saying all the wonderful things about nurses. He made sure we know that he's right about nursing. It's hard. We had a lot of people write in saying, thanks for talking so nicely about nurses.
But you have to understand something. I made it very clear. I support nurses except for Matt.
Except for
He's
Matt.
the only one we don't support, and that's just how it is.
He knows what he did.
Yeah, he knows what he did. Now, I got to be honest with you, I'm very serious. I was trying to think about this. I have never had a pain in the ass nurse in my life. They've always been very, very nice to me. So I assume they're being nice to everybody, right? I'll give you an example. I go in I was 18 years old going in to have surgery because I, of course, as a young teen, started lifting weights, and when you're not doing it right, you could get a hernia rather easily. And that's what that whole thing was. So I'm going in to get this hernia fixed. I'm 18 years old, and it was the Idle Hospital. I don't know what it is now. It used to be a hospital right there on Loring Park, Spruce Place. It's kind of on the west side of Loring Park. The building's still there, but it's not a hospital anymore. But I'm going in, I'm having this deal, and I had probably about a 40-year-old nurse that was pushing the gurney or whatever the hell you call it into the operating room. And she was a black woman, very nice, and I bring it up for a reason. Because I was reading a book at that time. This was the late 60s, so, looking at all these different groups, and there was, all this stuff going on. I was reading a book called Black Power, because I wanted to know what it was all about, what drives it, all this great stuff. So I'm reading it while I'm waiting to go into the operating room, and she comes over. She's pushing me in the operating room. She goes, "Black Power, huh? Why are you reading that?" And I said, "Well, I'm just trying to get educated, trying to find out stuff I might not know, and figure out where I stand on all this stuff." She said, "Son, let me tell you one thing. The more you're educated, the more they're going to whoop your ass." She said, "Don't do this to yourself because they're going to take advantage of you at every turn."
Oh, my God.
She was wonderful. She's
She
a
is
wonderful
funny.
nurse. I thought the world of that woman. I got to be honest with you. We do have to take a break here. I want to go into a little weather first, though, because the weather sucks for the next week. Catherine leaves town, and the weather sucks. Partial sun with an isolated afternoon or evening shower or thunderstorm possible. The high is 74. Wednesday, warmer with mixed sun and clouds. Isolated afternoon thunderstorm. Well, maybe we're. These mostly look like thunderstorms that aren't going to last all day, obviously. So we'll see. Thursday, warm with a few showers or thunderstorms, a high of 80. So 74, 80, and 80 for the next 3 days. It's 54 and 55 right now, as a matter of fact, and cloudy. But yeah, this says it's going to rain all day, but some of the other ones say it's not going to rain all day. So I guess we'll have to find out who's making money if it rains all day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because is that mostly what it's about? It's like, hey, we can make some dough. Let's get them out there.
I mean, I hope that now we're not to the point that weather is trying to make us money, too.
Well, there's a possibility, though, isn't there?
Stop.
I don't know if you ever watched the Weather Channel.
I don't watch Weather Channel.
No?
I used to.
Oh, yeah. Weather on the 8s. Dangerous storms may be headed your way.
That's what I'm
okay.
absolutely.
What's going to happen?
Here. I'll be here. You are going to tell me for another 15 minutes?
I'm telling you.
Oh, God.
I think that's right on the damn money.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is right on the money. It's just, oh, yeah, it's going to be absolutely horrible. Run and hide.
Yep.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, that's exactly why I stopped watching the Weather Channel, because it was always kind of leaning negative.
Always. Always something terrible is coming your way.
It's true. All right, we do need to take a break here. Be right back in a couple of minutes. Right after this, ladies and gentlemen. Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, Mike Lindell and MyPillow are launching the MyPillow 2.0. When Mike invented MyPillow, it had everything you could ever want in a pillow. Now, nearly 20 years later, he discovered a new technology that makes MyPillow even better. The MyPillow 2.0 has the patented adjustable fill of the original MyPillow, and now with brand new fabric that is made with a temperature-regulating thread, the MyPillow 2.0 is the softest, smoothest, and coolest pillow you will ever own. Say goodbye to tossing and turning, flipping your pillow over in the middle of the night. And more great news on the MyPillow 2.0. Buy one, get one free. It's a great offer with promo code TOM, T-O-M. MyPillow 2.0 with its temperature-regulating technology is 100% made in the United States and comes with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Just go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square to receive the MyPillow 2.0 buy one, get one free offer. Just when you thought MyPillow couldn't get any better, MyPillow 2.0 gives you the best pillow ever. Enter promo code TOM or call 800-516-5146. That's 800-516-5146 to get your MyPillow 2.0s now.
Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. If you've been hurt in a car collision, it's traumatic enough. You don't need to waste time and energy on the legal stuff. Think of us as a partner who will guide you through the process. First off, you need to recover, but part of that is getting the compensation you deserve. At Bradshaw & Bryant, we'll work hard so you can get the rest you need during the trying months after a personal injury. At Bradshaw & Bryant, we understand how important it is to make our clients comfortable, so we build each client relationship on the pillars of honesty and transparency. Don't miss out on what's rightfully yours. We'll go to bat for you. For your free case consultation, please visit MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. That's MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. I'm Mike Bryan, and I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to Bradshaw & Bryant.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com.
With Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Corey Wisco of the Wellshire.
It's difficult to put in words the relationship that we have with North American Banking Company. You know, they've been there from the very beginning with our vision of providing quality dementia care for individuals, and they've been a partner all the way through. They really are there for us.
For more information about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com. That's nabankco.com. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Tom Barnard is currently getting his steps in because he is a man of fitness.
Doing my stair work.
A real Jack LaLanne, if you will.
A real Mr. LaLanne.
Are they all going to be? Oh, Jack LaLanne. There you go. Oh, I ran back.
That's
I
impressive.
didn't realize it was such a short segment. Tell the sales department to get off their ass.
Of course I will. That's my job, is I tell people what to do.
Well, me, you've been telling me what to do my
That's
whole
true.
life.
That's true.
Because you're a goddamn disaster.
All right, I got somebody calling in.
All right.
He's calling in here in a little bit, but his name's Taylor Price.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He wrote this email, I read it to you this morning, about how he's trying to start a podcast himself. He wants some tips and tricks, some advice. He's a young kid. I watched some of his YouTube. I think he seems talented.
I'm not saying, I said run away from you is what I meant.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't listening to what you said. I was just finishing my sentence.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. Good.
So he should be calling in any minute.
I like it.
Yeah, so Taylor Price podcast. We're going to see if it's worth it. I don't know. We're going to find out.
See if it's worth it.
I'm just trying to build up.
Oh,
okay?
is it? You're getting us excited?
Yeah, because I'm obviously...
Yeah, because we got about 8 minutes right now. It'd be a good time if he does call in. That'd be
I
wonderful.
told him. We'll see.
Because Kristyn Burtt comes on at 35, so it'd be a really good time to have him on. Yeah, I like that, the fact that people want to... One thing that we were talking about this a little bit earlier, and then people go, sometimes I like that when you don't, either you're not back or, whomever is not back. I said, this is not a radio show.
Even if it was.
And even if it was, I don't care. I never actually did a radio show. Well, I suppose when I was on at night, I did.
There's just no... Yeah. It's not that big a deal.
No, it's just not. And everybody... we talked about this earlier. If you're trying to be funny, you're not funny. And if you're trying to... Just calm down, be yourself, and people will either like you or they won't. And if they like you, you're good.
Yeah, and sometimes they don't, and it hurts your feelings, and that's okay, too.
Why would your feelings be hurt by somebody you don't even know?
Totally joking.
No, you're not.
No, I am absolutely
I can see the
joking.
devastation in your eyes.
I couldn't be more unfazed. You guys, how sad if I had this personality and this was me trying to get people to like me. I would be doing such a bad job. I am an abrasive person. I've accepted.
Are you abrasive? Let me think about that. If you're abrasive, you're a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But I don't know about abrasive.
I see Taylor called in.
Oh, is Taylor on with us?
I'm excited. I'm excited for this kiddo. Okay, I'm excited because I love the idea of somebody who wants to get in the industry, messaging people. That's cool.
Indeed.
Taylor's on line 1, by the way.
I got to... what do you mean, by the way? You were just on the phone. He goes, by the way.
Oh, no. I didn't mean by the way, we should move on to this.
No,
I was just letting you guys know so that I didn't have to quickly throw it up on the screen.
Oh, you couldn't hear her talking about that?
I couldn't, no.
Oh, she was talking about the fact that you were talking to Taylor.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
No,
I'm
of course
sorry.
you did.
Oh, no, I was on the phone, yeah.
I'm with Rudy on this.
Yep,
You're
sorry
being
about that.
crazy with the
What
by
are
the way.
you? There's nothing to be with
Hi, Taylor.
anywhere.
Welcome to the show.
Oh, Christ.
My name's Tom Barnard.
Taylor?
I'm a big deal.
Taylor, do me a favor and run away from radio people. Seriously, run as fast as you can because they're all nuts.
Man.
Well, if you're a real radio person, you can't run.
Well, that's true. That's a good point.
I know
That's a very good point. You can't even run at any speed. So, ladies and gentlemen, I got to do a chucker here. You ready?
Give him a big intro.
Would you leave me alone?
I'm excited.
I've been in business now for 3-4 months. I got it. You just ruined the segue there. You really just trampled my segue.
Okay,
I was going to go on and do the chuck and go, our very special guest, Taylor Sheridan, writes every big... Have you seen... Is there anything that Taylor Sheridan's not writing right now on television?
No, not at all.
Taylor, do you pay attention to that, the fact that Taylor Sheridan's by far the hottest writer in Hollywood?
Probably not. Maybe I'm out of the loop on that one.
Okay, well, get your head out of your ass, Taylor. Let's go.
Yeah, you got a podcast to put together. You better know about Taylor Sheridan.
No,
Damn
I'll
it.
learn. I got some homework to do. That's okay with me.
Taylor, do you watch streaming ever?
I mean, I do. Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, because it's the best television we've ever had, I think. Anyway, are you going to do radio and I'm not radio, but podcasting and television?
I'd like to do. Video podcasting would be the ideal form.
Yeah, it's a better way to put it. Yeah.
I think the best form of that content is to be, have video and audio, be able to put clips together and highlights and stuff like that.
Okay, now how did Brittany get familiar with you?
So I just sent an email because I just like to learn. Very, very wide range of things I like to do. So I was curious to learn if there was a way I could capitalize on some of the other skills that I have, because I'm a multimedia producer. I feel like there's more I could be doing to help boost the image of these podcasts that I'm working on.
You know what you should do, and I'm very serious about this. If you have the time, if you don't have time, I understand. But just talking to you for 1 or 2 minutes, we should, this summer, of course, the weather's got to be better. We should give you a mic and put you on the street. You could be Taylor on the street.
Yeah.
I think you should do that. That's because we used to do that back in the day, and you run into some fascinating stuff. What time do you get out of bed in the morning?
I mean, I'm out of bed at 5 usually.
Okay, and then what time do you start working?
Nowadays, I work at around 7:30.
Okay, so you can move it to 7:30, or could you take a break in like the 9 o'clock hour?
I could. I mean, technically, I get a whole hour to myself anytime during the day.
Oh, so that's good. What do you guys think of that? Putting Taylor on the street.
I love it. I love it.
It's a great idea. I do. And you can be a smart ass because nobody's going to bother you. It'd be wonderful.
Oh, I'd love that. I grew up doing that.
Taylor, where'd you grow up?
So I grew up Coon Rapids and Blaine. My parents were very, very nice people. Put us in a nice place. But I grew up playing baseball, basketball, and golf. And I think sports really was integrated in everything I did. So broadcasting became a thing because I would watch SportsCenter, and Stuart Scott was just my favorite broadcaster of all time. So when he passed away, I kind of felt like I needed to try to do something to kind of push forward towards that, because I was just kind of slacking. I wasn't really doing too much at the time.
No, Brittany, how did you find out about Taylor?
So Taylor had emailed me, and the more I listen to you, Taylor, I would have to say, if I was to give you any advice, is stalk Rudy. And I mean that in the
That's nice.
most casual,
That's
less
nice.
threatening way, is because you and him are so similar. Rudy is our producer, and he is also like, I think he falls in the same realm of not being able to put words to everything he does. He does a little bit of, where he does a lot of audio editing, a lot of video editing. He's like constantly playing around with how to make videos and all these cool things he does. He writes bits. He does all this stuff. So like, that's the guy I feel like you got to model your career around, because he is so on the same realm. And I love that you're incorporating video already. I mean, your YouTube is so fun. But Taylor Price podcast, I think, this is so exciting. I hope that for the best for you.
I appreciate that. I know that I'm just getting on, I'm on the ground floor of what I could be doing, and I took a hiatus after college because I thought the real world I needed to do what the real world was asking me to do, and instead I feel like I realized my creative passions were kind of put on the wayside, and I don't know. I got kicked in the butt recently by a friend of mine who does music, and I don't know. I've been really happy to go behind the scenes and learn about his stuff, and it pushed me to get back into podcasting and producing. And I don't know. It's been a lot of fun. I just producing videos for this athlete training program I do as well.
Oh, so wait a minute. Being kicked in the ass was a good thing.
Oh yeah, no. Anytime.
I thought you meant he literally kicked you. I did. I'm like, what?
I'm the type of person that I'll learn even if I fall flat on my face. I'll put my whole head in the grindstone to learn, because it's just something that helps me. I'm not afraid to fall flat on my face.
That is a good thing, because what you want to do, most people, and the people on the show were talking about that this morning already. If your goal is to go out and just, I'm going to be a radio announcer, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that. Just be yourself, Taylor. You got a great personality already. I mean, obviously, Brittany sat down and started reading me the story about you. Where'd you find that story, Brittany?
He emailed.
But I mean, didn't you find another story on him or something?
Nope.
He wrote
that whole email, and then I just looked him up on a bunch of his podcasts and his YouTube channel.
So we probably should do, Taylor, if you have any desires, have you pop in, do the show for about 10, 15 minutes one day. And if you have any, look, Man on the Street is a great thing to do, particularly when it's 30 below, and I can laugh at you for being outside. That'll be phenomenal.
I'll be cracking jokes about how I was born and raised for this, but no one thought my mom was going to give me this type of task.
Taylor, seriously, we were very impressed. Did you watch any of it at all, Rudy? Did she send it to you or anything?
No, I haven't seen it yet. No, but listen, man, I'm listening to your story, and one email 5 years ago changed my life, Taylor.
Oh, there you go.
So you are on the right path. Absolutely.
Is that when you quit?
Yep.
I knew it.
No, if I can give you I'll give you two real quick pieces of advice. If you want to do audio, video, invest in yourself. Don't buy a piece of shit camera. Buy something good that's quality.
Good idea.
That is, whatever you can afford. Spend another $500. Invest in yourself. Don't worry about the money. Just do it. Keep doing it. Don't care what other people think. If you have to take out a little bit of a loan from your parents, pay them back right away. The other thing is volunteer your time to people that are above you. That is what giving your time will get you further in life than any sort of degree at a college, any of that. Find somebody who's above you and just go, how can I help you? And that is what will get you to where you want to go.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, well, stay in touch with Brittany. Brittany, you have his number, obviously.
Yep, we got it. Yep.
Okay, well, stay in touch with Brittany and work it out. And there's no rush to get it done. I mean, if you want to start doing it right away, or you have any interest in doing it at all, or you want to wait a while, whatever it is, we're just very impressed with your work and your attitude about the whole thing. You seem like you'd work very, very hard, which is really unusual in radio. Not so much podcasting. But finding somebody who works hard in radios, it's never going to happen, Taylor, so just let it go.
Yeah, I remember the show I ran when I was in college, and some of the rules and all that stuff I remember were very fun. But the one thing my radio director told me is you can't swear on the radio. So that's what I like about podcasting, is you can just be yourself. The rule that we had for that was, and it was written on the wall, is you can only swear once.
Oh, I like that.
Because
yeah.
Because if you swear once, you're off the radio, and we're not helping you pay the fine.
Yeah, and to tell you the truth, swearing once on podcast is not a bad idea either, because if you do it too much, people are going to go, this has gotten really boring.
Yeah.
Well, unless you're my grandpa who listens to my podcast, who thinks he would much rather me just be a little more PC about it.
Grandpa wants you to be PC.
Take Grandpa's notes, okay? Those are good.
What's your grandfather's first name?
His name is Craig.
Craig, shut up and leave Taylor alone. You heard me. All right, Taylor, stay in touch, and I'd love to meet you in person. And if you have any interest, getting you out on the street this summer would be amazing.
Well, thank you so much, and I look forward to it.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too.
Bye. How old is Taylor?
I don't know. He looks.
He does look really young.
Yeah, I read that email. He had already graduated college.
Yeah.
So he must be mid-20s, 25 or so.
That's probably about right. But he looks like he's about 12.
Yeah, he looks young, but man, he just reminds me of you, Rudy, and I loved you giving him that good advice, so that's awesome.
What do you mean? He's happy. How can you remind you of Rudy?
Oh, he's happy.
Burned you right to the ground, sister. In any case, we have, what's your name again? It's KB2 or something like that? I can't remember.
Something like that. I
One
don't
of
know. I
those
show
deals.
up every morning, and here I am.
Oh, I was telling these people earlier this morning, and I forgot to tell them. I didn't tell you the BAI story yet, did I? BAI, the drink. You know what that stuff is?
Oh, yeah. My husband's obsessed with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know something, so Catherine's gone, so I've just been doing a lot of walking and working out and doing all this stuff. So last night at about 8 o'clock, I went, you know what? I better sit down, calm down, because I can go to sleep. I said, I have one of those buys. That sounds really good. The coconut ones are phenomenal.
Yeah, I agree. I love those.
Coconut buys are amazing. So I was very thirsty, so I had 2 of them. I got to sleep at midnight because it's got 55 milligrams of caffeine in it.
Whoa.
I had no idea that stuff had caffeine in it. Why would they put caffeine in a coconut drink?
It must be like a specific one, because I don't think all of them have caffeine.
Well, the Bai coconut does.
I thought they were like natural energy drinks or better for you energy drinks.
Oh, is that what? See, I didn't even know that. I just thought they were just good. I didn't know they were supposed to be an energy. I had plenty of energy till midnight, I'll tell you that. Hey, let's go.
I would have been up till 4, fallen asleep, and then been like, I have like 30 minutes until my alarm. That would have been me.
I'm telling you, honest to God, I could not sleep at all. I'd toss and turn, and I went, what the hell? And I finally got up and went up and looked at the Bible and went, I drank 110 milligrams of caffeine before going to bed. Good idea.
You guys ever had
Can't
naked?
drink that afternoon.
You ever had naked juice before?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know the bottle, it says naked on there. They have all
green.
sorts.
They have green machine. Yeah.
Green Machine, yeah, that's the one in particular that I'm talking about because on there, it says naked juice, and then it has a picture of carrots and broccoli and asparagus and Brussels
Right.
sprouts and all
okay.
that. If you look at the ingredients, carrots is like 0.00003% of it, but there's 54 grams of sugar in one bottle.
There you go.
So,
But
There you go.
It's all because like I've looked at all the ingredients of that. It's all fruit, but here like fruit has so much sugar in it.
Sure.
It just does, and so the whole thing is just a bunch.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things where would you normally eat 3 apples in one sitting? No, but we've juiced it down to one small drink, and you're like,
And then you crash.
yeah.
hard.
Yeah, I finally did fall asleep at midnight, and I woke up this morning at 5:30. So, but actually, to tell you the truth, and I don't know why this would be, maybe one of the three you can tell me, you're a listener. I slept for 5.5 hours. I woke up this morning at 5:30. I felt great, like I had slept literally for 10 hours.
I don't get that.
Why would that happen?
It shouldn't.
Yeah,
Shouldn't.
right.
It shouldn't have happened, I know, but I woke up, I was in a good mood until I got here, so that was good,
So drama.
You know what I'm saying.
We'll talk to you at 3 p.m. and see if you need a nap.
Kristyn, where's the house? No, you're right. You're absolutely right. What's the latest? Anything good going on? I hope.
Oh boy, I mean,
No.
it's tough out there with the strike. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
Yeah.
We're starting to see more and more cancellations. They just postponed the AFI Awards with Nicole Kidman. The next two things that are coming up are the Tony Awards. And the Tony Awards, I don't know if people realize this. They do use Writers Guild, writers for the show, but they need the Tony Awards to sell tickets. And Broadway still has not recovered to pre-pandemic levels. And in order for a lot of these shows to stay open this summer, they need the Tony Awards. So people see the show and go, hey, I'm going to be there this summer. I want to buy tickets. There's a possibility that the Writers Guild will give them a waiver, allow them to use writers so that the show can go on. But I don't think that same thing will happen with the daytime Emmys, which are the following week. And I have a feeling either those will have to be postponed or they'll have to do something similar like with what they did with the MTV Movie and TV Awards, where they just did little clips, they pre-taped it, and that was it.
We need entertainment. Let me ask you, everybody. I'm asking everybody this question because last night again, I'm whining about my wife being out of town. I do realize that, but you got to find stuff to do, right? When you're all by yourself, you got to find stuff to do. All the rest of it. I could not find one movie on Vudu, which has thousands of movies, that I had any interest in watching. Movies now are terrible. I mean, I'm not big into Ant-Man stabbing the wasp or whatever the hell that. I don't know what the hell that even is. Jesus. What is that? Is it all superhero stuff?
Yeah.
I like
it
your
is,
title
okay.
better.
Why weren't you watching TV? There's so much right
I
there at
am,
your fingertips.
and that was my
You are.
point, absolutely. Streaming is wonderful. Movies right now, I'm having I liked Otto. I have not seen Wick yet, Wick 4, because it's 3 hours long, so I'm waiting until it comes out on Vudu so I can watch it in 2 or 3 segments. Because I'm not going to sit down for 3 hours and watch a movie. I'm way too jittery for that, So
2 hours is my limit.
Yeah,
I
2 hours.
prefer a
tough.
90-minute, like, in and out.
Couldn't
but
agree
2
more.
hours.
And one thing, I used to be a huge, I guess you could call it horror fan, I guess, back in the day. There was not one horror movie I would give one. The horror movies are terrible now. Everybody gets stabbed in the face. Well, it's not
I think
horror.
it's torture porn instead of
Yeah.
actual suspense and thrills.
Yeah, I want suspense and thrills. That's exactly. Vincent Price. Get something written by Edgar Allan Poe. How about that? Why don't we?
Alfred Hitchcock was the master of that.
I watch Alfred Hitchcock at least 3 times a week. I love that show. Especially the fact that he's such a smart ass at the beginning and the end. I love that about Alfred. Because he pretended to be his twin brother on last night's episode that I was watching. Yeah, only his twin brother had a mustache. So Alfred comes out wearing a mustache. All of a sudden, he's his twin brother. Oh, okay. That guy was a piece of work. I guess he was something to work with. Apparently, He used to maybe hit on the women once in a while on the set. You ever heard about that?
He was not good to the women. He was abusive to the women.
Right
He
here.
was, a lot of sexual harassment going on.
So, like
it was
Brit-
not great to be in. It's crazy because it identified and really created careers for so many of the women who were the Alfred Hitchcock sort of muses for his films.
Tippi Hedren.
Yeah, she goes back and talks about her experience, and
She
it was
does.
horrific.
Yep.
Horrific for
It was
them.
terrible. It was like working with Brittany. Like I said, Rudy and I have to watch our backs constantly.
They literally shuffle with their backs against the wall
We do, yeah.
because I'm trying to grab them booties.
Grab them booties. That's a new album you put out, isn't it? Grab them booties.
My hands can't get enough of
They
them
couldn't even
buns.
walk in the door.
Rah, 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 rah.
You're a disaster.
Give me that dong.
What?
I'm just said like I'm just
Give
trying
me
to.
th-
I'm
give
trying
me-
to steal your guys' body parts. I couldn't think of.
Oh, I see.
Butt seemed like I wanted to next level it.
Yeah, you're right, because you went, give me that abdomen. That doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense
like,
at
I'm
all.
sorry.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
HR is
You're
calling
fucking
right now.
Did you hear? She was trying to talk over you there, Kristyn. I don't know if you heard that or not. Did you hear this brilliant statement she just made?
Oh, she can't hear it.
Oh, she can't hear it. Ah, damn it. That's too bad. Oh, that's too bad. We just had Brittany going.
And now we got Tom going.
And now we got me doing that. So there you. That's wonderful news, isn't it? So yeah, the series, the streaming series are fantastic. I don't think television's ever been better. Do you?
Well, it's been good, and now we're seeing
Yeah.
sort of the downturn of this. Unfortunately,
Yep.
with the cutting of budgets, CBS has been going through it. They've asked a lot of their cast and crew on some of their shows to take pay cuts or to take episode cuts.
Right.
We just saw Shamar Moore, his SWAT team show was canceled and then uncanceled within 48 hours.
I didn't know
because
that.
He called CBS to task. He went on Instagram and said, "You made an effing mistake. This show should not be canceled." They went back to the table because the fan outcry was so big. And they said, "Okay, we'll bring you back for your 7th and final season, 13 episodes only."
Oh, so they are bringing it back one more year.
One more year, but again, a smaller season. And that's what
Yeah.
really people are looking for. They're looking for smaller budgets, lower salaries,
Sure.
because right now advertisers have cut back because of inflation and the recession and everything else. So once advertising dollars go down, it's a trickle down effect.
You know, one of the things I love about streaming too is you go back to the Twilight Zones and the Alfred Hitchcocks and all that stuff. This is season 1, episode 44. I'm like, what?
I know.
Jesus. I mean, they were on every week except for like 8 weeks a year.
Yeah, even in the 80s,
Man.
some shows would run 35, 36 episodes.
Yeah.
And I think if you try and remember, going back to a kid, it really was September to about May, early June. That was your TV season. And then it was reruns all summer. But you would have a full year of episodes, which we don't get. You get these short, 8 episodes, 13 episodes.
Yeah.
But the problem is, too, that means that actors and crew are jumping from job to job to job. So they have to do more jobs in order to make the money that they used to.
That's true. No, in England, of course, if you got more than 4, 5, 6 episodes, you're going way over the top.
You're going wild with that paycheck.
They do honestly got 4, 5, 6 episodes. That's all they do. We're going to get it all in the first 4, 5, 6 weeks, and then we're done. That's just how, and I love it. It's great.
And 2 seasons max, and then they're out.
Pretty much. That's exactly right. So, yeah, streaming television right now is really, really terrific. Been watching all kinds of different things. And that's the part of streaming that I do love is you can bounce all over the place and find whatever you're looking for. Except for me, the movies that are coming out, I don't like them.
Yeah, and we're officially in summer movie season.
Yeah,
it kind
true.
of kicked off this weekend with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And we're going to see almost every single week a big tentpole movie coming out. It's going to start actually next week with Fast X. The week after that is The Little Mermaid. The week after that is Spider-Man. So it's just going to be bam, bam, bam. It's a stacked summer, but not everyone's going to be able to rise to the top of the box office. And I think that's some of the things that the studios are going to be worried about. You've got big budgets, you add the marketing costs on top of it, and you need people to come out and buy tickets to those movies.
I can see that. I love sitting in a movie theater too. That's the other thing that's disappointing to me, to walk up and get the bag of popcorn and go sit down with your soda and watch a movie in the theater. I love that experience, but these movies are just not very good.
I know it was so fun on Sunday, finally, going into the theater. I don't go myself that often unless it's a screening, But it was the buttered popcorn, it was the soda, it was the reclining seats. I was so comfortable. It was fantastic. And the movie is 2 hours. You're in, you're out. It was funny, and away you went.
And I only had to say shut the F up once, which was good.
Amazing.
I can't do it. I cannot sit and watch people on their phones in the theater talking to one another. We're not going to be doing that.
I don't normally see the talking, but I do see the phones come out, and people don't know to dim their screens.
Well, I know. It's like, Jesus. He's turned on the lights.
And it catches your eye.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's so distracting. But we're at a place, and I think this is another problem with why people aren't going to the movies. They can't put their phone down for 2 to 3 hours.
True.
They need to constantly check it.
You're right.
That's a problem. And we've all been reprogrammed to watch these short clips. We have a short attention span, and nobody wants to be in the dark for 2-3 hours. What are we missing on social media? You're not missing anything, but that's what our brains are thinking because we're addicted.
No, you're right. We need to get back to it and just everybody calm down.
I don't know.
Don't raise your hand like you're being polite, okay?
Sir or ma'am? Brittany Arneson.
Yes, Brittany.
Longtime listener, first-time question asker. We had a KB2 directed question from Aaron.
Oh, here we go.
Aaron wrote, can you ask KB2 when we may get the Married and Children cartoon, please?
Oh, that super interesting. A lot of people know Christina Applegate was diagnosed with MS, and she's retired from working on camera. But she said she is moving forward with voicing her character for that. Aww. So she is just going into the studio now. So as long, and this is what I have to say, as long as that script is already written, because we are in a writer's strike.
Oh, yeah.
Could I ask you about all a question? So this is a cartoon about Married with Children, is that correct?
Yes.
Does Dad sit on the couch with his hands down his pants?
Yes.
Does he really?
Oh, yeah.
Because they make so many cartoons now that you cannot let kids watch.
You got a cartoon guy with his hands down his pants.
So I'm sure they're going to be super naughty. It's going to be
probably.
it'll be.
Are we going to hear him unbuckling his pants?
Yeah, that's what he did, right? He unbuckled his pants. And I loved Katie Segal in that show. I thought she was fantastic.
I love that she was just, always begging for his D. Always. It just cracked me up because I'd never seen a dynamic like that. And so to me, it just cracked me up. Al, let's go upstairs.
Was it Al Bundy?
Al Bundy.
Yeah, that's right, Al Bundy.
Ed O'Neill, who's incredible. He's had a great career.
Yeah. I agree with you. He's terrific, no question.
And so much of that stuff you could never do nowadays.
Oh, I'm sure.
There's one episode where all the guys of No Ma'am go to the strip club. And when they get there, they had taken the strip club and they turned it into a poetry corner. And there's a woman up on stage who is rather hefty in a muumuu.
Oh, no.
And she gets up there and she goes, my eggs. And Al takes an actual egg and hits her with it.
Oh, my God.
I did love that show, man.
So good.
I thought that show was
so
hilarious.
naughty.
Bunker of his time.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to have to watch it now that a cartoon character puts his hands down his pants. That's got to be pretty amazing to see.
It's so funny.
All right, sister, go back to bed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to see you in a couple hours. So
That's true. It'll be wonderful
Tuesday.
to see you again.
Get a double dose of KV2.
Was it 5:53 in the morning there? So
it is. I actually have to go prep for a segment because after I talk with you on the family and after I write 6 articles, I then have to go to the studio. So I've got to
I told them to fire you. They didn't do it yet?
They haven't, believe
Damn
it or
it.
not. They keep me around.
They won't listen to me. Hey, can you see my hands?
Yes.
No, you can't.
I don't want to know.
You don't want to know. All right. Well,
HR is writing so many notes today between you and Britt.
I know.
Oh, Britt.
Rudy's the only one so far, I think, who's in the clear.
Give it time.
I was like, the day is young.
Yeah, that's very true. All right, sister. We'll talk to you later on today, and we'll see you tomorrow as well.
You bet. Bye.
Thanks a lot. Kristyn Burtt, ladies and gentlemen. KB2. I got so damn lucky. Catherine found her 11 years ago. We had never met. I still have never met her in person. I had no idea what she looked like until this show started. For 10 years, I had no idea. Not a clue.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She's just wonderful. And she's a very, very nice person. She's gone, isn't she?
Yes.
Okay, I don't want to say how nice she is in front of her.
Don't worry, she'll
get all
never
carried
know.
away.
Not the way you treat her, she'll never know.
The way you treat her, Tom.
You treat
The
her,
way
Tom.
you treat her.
Blah, 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 blah.
That's you right there, sister.
That's your impression of me?
Yep.
Spot on.
All right, we got to take a break here. Be back in a couple of minutes, and then I'll take my hands out of my pants. It'll be just wonderful.
Perfect.
As a cartoon character. I love the fact they have a cartoon character that does that. That's a great move. I think it's hilarious.
Super funny.
You know, I've been losing weight, and I got to tell you, I'm really impressed with the program offered by mnfatloss.com, and you'll find out in a couple of minutes why I'm so impressed. The team at MN Fat Loss has figured out the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day. I have lost 17 pounds now in 3 weeks. That's pretty.
That's impressive.
I don't hear any cheering.
I'm impressed.
No, cheering or nothing. That's very good cheering. I've lost 17 pounds. I've only been on the program for 3 weeks now. I'm feeling healthier and I got more energy. And I want to mention this again because, like I said, I have to go to client lunches. Once in a while, I'll go to a client dinner. Matter of fact, I have to go to one this Friday again. So a lot of programs, they go, no. You go out and just eat a piece of lettuce or something.
Yeah.
I have learned how to dial it back to a point where I'm not going to gain what. Now, once in a while, if you're going to go out and eat at a restaurant, there's so much salt and stuff in it, you are going to put on a fake 2 pounds.
Yeah.
It's not really weight gain. It's just a fake 2 pounds, so much salt or whatever holding on to water.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've been very patient with me about that, and I really appreciate it because 17 pounds in 3 weeks, Jesus.
That's impressive.
If it can slow down to even 2 pounds a week from now on, I'd be ecstatic because that means that 15 weeks from now, I would be at my goal.
Dang.
I love that. I've only been on the program a few weeks. I'm feeling healthier. I've got more energy. The program is safe and effective. You know me. I'm not going to count points or prepackaged meals. I don't like those anyway. I am not going to get, I'll be hypnotized by Brittany, but that's the only one.
By my looks.
Yes, I'm just mesmerized. There's no question. Seriously, folks, if you want to lose 20 or 30 pounds in a month or two, you really ought to check out the program at mnfatloss.com. Of course, results may vary, but I'm losing the weight. I feel great. If you want to find out the secret to losing 17 pounds in 3 weeks, so a little over a pound of fat every day. No exercise required. To schedule your free consultation, go to mnfatloss.com. That's mnfatloss.com. And please be sure to tell them that Tom Barnard sent you.
This is Bob Sansevier, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialki from Bialki Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialki Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit bialkilaw.com. That's BIALKE law.com.
This is not headline news. Amber Heard quit Hollywood and moved to Spain. Her new house is nice, but the bedroom is a dump. A woman who doesn't drink survived for 5 days on a bottle of wine when she got lost in the Australian wilderness, proving what a lot of us already knew. Alcohol is an energy drink. The eldest millennials will be turning 43 this year, so get ready to see a lot of people complaining about back pain while wearing skinny jeans. And Billy Joel turned 74 today. Billy looks good after dropping 50 pounds over the last year. Great news because it decreases his chance of having a... This is not headline news.
I got to head home. Jeez.
It wasn't that bad.
Oh, God.
The Amber Heard joke was pretty
No,
funny.
I wanted to ask you that. What did he mean by that? I don't get it.
The bedroom is a dump?
Yeah.
Because she pooped in Johnny Depp's bed?
Oh,
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Yeah, that whole... Was Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, that's who we're talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that court case was wild.
Yeah, wasn't it?
And did anybody win?
Yeah, Johnny did.
Yeah.
Well, he did win. So he didn't poop in her bed.
He did not poop in her bed. At least I don't have any hard evidence on that. But yeah, that was it. And I'm not one of those guys that watches trials like when Casey Anthony was on trial. It's not like I was glued to courtroom TV. But that trial, for whatever reason, I could not get enough of it.
Well, they were both huge stars, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, to see the turmoil they went through, and the thing is, did anybody really win?
No.
It looks like everybody was damaged.
It was. I mean, that's the thing. Nobody won. Like they should have settled. I mean, there's a possibility. In some ways, I don't know, because there's so much stuff came out about both of them. It was like airing every dirty laundry anyone's ever had. It was wild.
Did their careers both get hurt by it?
Well, his had been really bad.
Oh, okay.
To begin with, so if anything, I guess I would say there's some redemption. But at the end of the day, there's some things that came out that people were like, "Yeah, that's really bad."
Really? Like what? Weird sexual activity or something?
Well, there was like email or text messages between him and actor Paul Bettany, where it was like they were saying things between each other where even if you are with somebody and you're not a big fan of them and you're going through a hard time, I mean, he was giving like Paul very explicit details of what goes on in the bedroom. And it was awful to,
man.
It was awful. Like in the court of public opinion, nobody won.
Yeah.
I guess maybe there, I don't know. It was rough. That was a rough one.
But see, that's the difference right there. Like you guys don't watch the news. I do, and you guys watch that stuff. And what's the big show? TMZ.
Mm-hmm.
That's still around.
Oh yeah.
I can't watch stuff like that. It's just too much for me. And like you guys don't like watching the news in the morning, and I understand that too. If you don't like it, you don't like it. I mean, it's just the way it is. I could give a rat's ass what happens to Hollywood people.
Sure.
I really just don't care about them. I've met some very nice people. Jay Moore being in Studio Friday. What a nice guy he is.
Mm-hmm.
Hell of a nice man.
Super fun.
Is he still doing a lot of acting?
He was just in Air.
I haven't seen that yet.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he has a small cameo in it, but even when we were at the Edina Theater and he came on stage, and this was before, I knew he was going to be on the show and whatnot. I remember, because he does a small part, he's got one scene, and as soon as I saw him on the screen, I went, oh, Jay Moore. Like, hey, look at that. Nice little tip of the cap because he's such a basketball guy.
Yeah, he is. Mm-hmm. He's a big Laker fan.
Yeah, getting married to Jeannie Buss.
Jeannie Buss. When they get married?
I don't know. I think he made a mention that it's supposed to be sometime this summer.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
How long they been together?
Long time.
Well, that's good. So, that's nice to hear. Because people that rush into those Hollywood marriages, man, those things don't ever work.
Yeah, well, I also think that there's a little bit of people on her side, from what I can kind of gather, is there's people on her side just going, hey, by the way, you and your family are worth billions, and you are dating an addict. So make sure that this is all the T's are crossed, I's are dotted.
I wonder when they met, because he got sober, was it 21?
Yeah, he's got a joke where he says, she's been with me, I've been with her for 5 years, but she's been with me for 7 years, I've been with her for 2.
Yeah.
Meaning
because he sobered up.
Yeah, the first 5 years he wasn't really there, yeah.
She must, if she's going to go through all that, and I mean that because I've been on the other side of that, like I've been the hot mess person and going to rehab and stuff, she must love him dearly.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like a mutual friend of ours that had a chance encounter with them out in Malibu one time, and they were at Jeannie Buss's house, and he's out in the ocean. Jay's out in the ocean paddleboarding, and Jeannie just looked out and went, God, I love that guy.
Oh, that's so
it is wonderful.
Cute.
That's wonderful to hear, no question about that. I just... Oh, by the way, who's the guy that was sitting right next to me? Is that the guy from the House of Comedy?
That's Brian Gallagher, who's the manager of the House of Comedy.
Oh, he is, because I have not met him.
Yeah, good
because
dude.
It's been 2-3 years since we've had comedians. Like I said, that was a big moment for me, and I hope we can continue on and have comedians in every week on Thursdays and Fridays or whatever. I think having comedians on is a wonderful thing. And you guys wouldn't remember this, but 37 years ago, obviously you don't remember because you weren't born and you were 3, I think, or 4. Nobody ever let comedians on their show until the KQ Morning Show did, and then it kind of blew up around whatever. And the only reason it did is because I didn't give a rat's ass if they went off the deep end or not. They're comedians. They're funny people. They're not like you and me, first of all. You have to understand that. You guys do. But, the listeners have to understand they're not like other people. They just aren't. and their humor is always built on something that harmed them.
Some painful aspect.
Something painful, yeah. Well, let me put it this way. If it's not, you're really not that funny. You know what I mean?
I know. I'm really worried because we're giving Gogo this like really awesome childhood, and I'm like, are you going to have any personality?
Yeah.
Well, Alex's wasn't exactly a tough go, and she's got a lot of personality.
That's true.
So.
I mean, her racehorse was not very pretty. So.
Oh, wasn't it? I have no idea. I didn't know anything about that. The only time I was ever near that horse when that sumbitch bit me on my tricep, bastard. God, did that hurt.
I can't even remember. There's some show that's from where they're like, she's like, I had a hard childhood. We had an ugly racehorse, okay?
That's tough, man.
That's a rough go.
If your racehorse is... Yeah, it's interesting. I see, and I think that's a good thing because we have a generational shift on this show from one to another to another. I watch a lot of news. You guys watch a lot of entertainment television. That's a good thing because, we can cover all things that way, and it all works out in the end because I don't ever watch entertainment television. I tried watching TMZ, and it just got to be too much. You guys watch that?
Never.
No, it's so but it is funny. It's like a very funny, like if I was going to be on a TV show and put minimal amount of effort, that's the one I'd want to be on. They just stand there.
Do anything.
No, you stand there drinking a giant water, done and done. I can do that, and go, what about Michelle Pfeiffer? What's she doing? And then that's a clip of Michelle Pfeiffer. Like, I could be on that show.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? What, 30 Mile Zone? Is that what TMZ stands for?
I believe so, yeah.
I think it's 30 miles.
I didn't even know that.
It's the area around Los Angeles.
What is wrong with my brain that I've seen TMZ a million times. I use them for like news here and there where like, if you're looking up a celebrity thing. Never in my mind as I thought, what does that stand for?
Well, but you should have known because it was based on DMZ. It was. They kind of stole the idea from DMZ to TMZ.
I know, but my mind is blown right now because, now that you said that, I've never thought about it.
I don't know if has he ever talked much about the TMZ?
I don't know. I imagine if the information's out there, he probably did at some point. You're talking about Harvey, right?
Is that the guy that owns it?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's his name? Harvey?
Is it Levingston?
That sounds right.
Harvey Levin? I think it might just be Harvey Levin.
Maybe,
Harvey Levin sounds right.
I think that is right. I'm not sure. Like I said, I haven't watched it. I watched it years ago, but it's just not my kind of deal. All that gossip news and all that stuff has never been. I was like, whatever.
Yeah, this says the term 30-mile zone originated in the 1960s when, due to the growth of location shoots, studios established a 30-mile zone to monitor rules for filming in Hollywood.
Yep, so the unions took over. Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what that is, too. Mm-hmm. Which is, you got to have unions. And can you imagine acting in Hollywood without a union? Imagine how you'd be treated.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. No, I've done non-union work in town, and it is a mess.
Oh, is it
it's
really?
It's an absolute mess. And the first time I remember being on a union shoot, and they were like, we're going to break for lunch. What would you guys like? And it was like lobster and steak. And there was all these things. I've done films sometimes where they're like, hey, craft services are in the other room, and you walk in, and it's a loaf of Wonder Bread and bologna. And you're like, okay, well, I guess that's what we're eating today.
It blows your mind if you're not from that world. So I've got a cousin who he makes commercials all the time. That's what he does. He makes.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's he's worked with so many people where he's like, oh, he knows Tom, he knows whatever. But so Adam, he makes commercials all the time, and he's once was like, hey, we need somebody an assistant to help out. Do you want to make some extra cash? And I was in my 20s. I was like, yes. And they were filming some. Like all-terrain, like four-wheeler hyped up like commercial thing where they were just doing these shots and going under it and all these things and whatever. What blew my mind is that they fed you breakfast, lunch, and dinner. What other job does that? Like I brought my little sack lunch and they're like, yeah, go ahead, set that down over there. We have an egg station with a sous chef. I was like, what the heck? I was like, no wonder you guys work till midnight because why would you leave here?
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Do you know that when we first moved to that building with the Q, the one over on the campus or just off the campus?
Yeah.
You know that I offered to hire a chef to come in the morning and make breakfast and they wouldn't let me do it.
What the frick is that about?
I literally was going to pay someone to come in every day and make everybody breakfast and lunch and they wouldn't do it. I mean, the station wouldn't do it. The chef was ready to go.
Sure.
I used to get, when I was an intern and you would come in, I'd get so excited because it would for sure be a McDonald's run.
It's great to be bringing chow with them.
Yeah, you're so broke, right? Like, because I was so broke.
Oh, God, yes.
And you're like, and I would always be like, oh, wait, and, see if you whatever. And you're like, hey, Britt, do you want to run to McDonald's? And I always, first off, love leaving work. So I was always very excited.
It was only like 2 blocks away, so
yeah,
that
but
wasn't bad.
I loved it. Like, if I wish you would have sent me farther because, like, I get to go out in my car.
Never
and,
come back.
Yeah, exactly. And then you'd be like, oh, yeah, make sure, of course, pick something up for yourself, and you'd always give me this, like, crisp $100 bill. And I was like, oh, my God, I'm going to get an Egg McMuffin. I'm starving. And I loved that. Was, like, so fun to me.
It was great. And that's, I don't know why they just would, they tried to offer something like, oh, it's an insurance issue. No, it's not. Insurance. Oh, my God, the burner got way too high. It's like, give me a break.
Burner got too high.
Were you there when we used to get those? Were you down at 93X when we used to get those literally 50-pound salted nut rolls at Christmas?
I don't remember. No.
So maybe you weren't there at that time, but do you remember those?
No, I remember.
Oh, you don't either?
I remember you guys talking about them. I never got one, and I never saw one. But
well, it was for the whole station. I mean, it was literally like 30 pounds. It was huge.
I remember we've gotten big packages of nut roll stuff.
But not a big nut roll.
No, I never saw a big nut roll.
Yeah, I can't remember how. I never saw a big nut roll except for that one guy.
Try grabbing dong today. And now this.
Yeah, grabbing dong, and now it's grabbing a nut roll. So, but yeah, they would every Christmas they would send us right after Thanksgiving. They would send us like it looked like it was about 30 pounds. It was huge, right? And then we found out that the overnight guy was flipping it upside down and hollowing it out. And then he'd flip it back on its butt. So it looked like it was all still there.
Awful.
I know. It's just like, what are you doing?
So she was just eating the inside?
Yeah, he was digging. He'd flip it over and then dig into the bottom. So the whole thing was pretty much hollowed out at one point.
Oh.
How did he not gain 55 pounds eating that many nuts and all that sugar?
He probably did.
Well, he maybe did.
It was always two different, because I worked overnight, and there was 2 different kind of guys I was trained in by, because it was all men. It was either so skinny but ate trash or not skinny at all and ate trash. There was no in between to work the overnight on radio.
No, you're right.
They ate trash. And I'd be there with my, like, Honey Crisp, like, here's my 4 a.m. treat. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, it was, those were, but they were interesting guys, and I always had a blast. Like,
you just made me feel really sad because it's been, I don't know how many, it's been since I left that building. And that was, 15 years ago?
Yeah.
To work from home.
Yeah.
I just realized, honest to God, looking back at those days, that my life is now a disaster.
I know.
I just like to point that out.
It makes me a little bummed out that back in the day, a free coffee or a free Egg McMuffin made my week. And now those simple things, like, I get excited still, but does it make your week? I don't know, like sometimes these things get more complicated.
Well, the thing that made me so sad just now is I realized that I haven't been to White Castle, McDonald's, Burger King, Arby's, any of those in years, and I haven't been avoiding them. I just haven't been.
Yeah.
Why did that happen? You guys still go to those?
Not as much as Brittany does.
Shut up. One time I went to Arby's, and I told you. Confidence. One time.
You should get her picture next time.
Mm-hmm.
Going into Arby's.
You know what was really embarrassing about it? So I went to Arby's. It was I had daycare, and I got done with this meeting early, and I was like, I'm starving. And so I went to Arby's, and I ate quietly in the parking lot. It was like the highlight of my day. And I was like, I don't have to tell anyone about this. This is bleak. I'm fine with that.
Bleak.
And then the next day, we were heading into a meeting, and I realized I forgot my wallet. So I was like, I'm going to run to Wells Fargo and get cash out because you can give them a bunch of information. And they go, what was your last, in front of everybody, because it was right when they opened. So there's like a line of like 4 people behind me. They go, can you tell us your last purchase? And I was like, I was like, it's Arby's, but hear me out. I never go. And so I had to tell like so many people. And then I told Rudy this story, and forever now, he literally is always like, Brittany, did you go to Arby's today?
Yeah. Well, I haven't heard him say that. What are you talking about?
You guys are
I don't
monsters.
know what you even mean. You're a monster.
I'm an Army veteran, okay? I'm a hero.
You are a hero. There's no doubt about it. I have a question for both of you. Do you remember that, because we used to go to that Arby's over there on University Avenue, because it was by the queue, right?
Yeah.
You guys remember the Arby's breakfast sandwich with an egg on the roast beef sandwich?
Maybe.
God, was that good.
Amazing.
It was delicious, and then they stopped doing it.
I'd throw an egg on anything. I'm gonna be honest
love
with you.
eggs, yeah,
I'll throw an egg on anything.
But they would take that Arby's roast beef sandwich, put a little fried egg right on top of that bad boy. It was delicious. And then all of a sudden they just went away.
I know we're praising Brittany for being an Army vet, but how about the guy who put an egg on a roast beef sandwich? That guy deserves a hero status as well.
Couldn't agree more.
Yes.
I'm pointing at Rudy right now. If you can see my picture on it. You can't see my hand, but I'm pointing at him right now.
Yes.
He's 100% right.
You are.
We could have ended the Vietnam War early if they'd put an egg on an Arby's roast beef sandwich.
He outranks me.
It's everything.
He or she. Let's be honest.
He or she.
The guy who put it on there, he outranks me.
I understand that completely. All right, I'm going to do a little weather here because the weather is going to come and go. It looks like, anyway, partial sun with an isolated afternoon or evening shower or thunderstorm possible, high of 74. Tomorrow, warmer with mixed sun and clouds and an isolated afternoon thunderstorm. On Thursday, warm with a few showers or thunderstorms with a high of 80 again. So 74, 80, and 80. It looks like it's going to, although I looked at my watch just now, and it looks on my watch like it's going to rain all day, but it does that a lot on these watches, doesn't it? These fitness watches.
Yeah.
The weather's always worse on your watch than it is anywhere else. Why is that?
I don't know.
I don't get it. Why do you want to piss me off?
It's watching out for you.
Oh, God, get out.
All right, I'll show myself out. And good day.
You're going to have to do your part from the lobby from now on. That's all there is to it. So right now it is 56 degrees and partly cloudy, but we'll see. It looks like it's going to come and go, but it's going to be pretty much, whether it's raining or not, it looks like it's going to be pretty much cloudy all day. But we'll see if that comes and goes too. I don't know. We'll find out. So yeah, right now it is 56 degrees and partly cloudy. We'll be right back in a couple of minutes. What's his name again? Krister?
I wouldn't know. I don't.
Something. He's
Mr. Egert?
Some news guy. I don't know what the hell he's got cooking. Anyway, we'll be right back.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, Mike Lindell and MyPillow are launching MyPillow 2.0. When Mike invented MyPillow, it had everything you could ever want in a pillow. 20 years later, he discovered a new technology that makes MyPillow even better. The MyPillow 2.0 has the patented adjustable fill of the original MyPillow, and now with the brand new fabric that is made with a temperature-regulating thread. The MyPillow 2.0 is the softest, smoothest, and coolest pillow you'll ever own. Say goodbye to tossing and turning and flipping your pillow over in the middle of the night. And more great news on the MyPillow 2.0. Buy one, get one free offer with promo code TOM. MyPillow 2.0, with its temperature-regulating technology, is 100% made in the USA and comes with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Just go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square to receive the MyPillow 2.0 buy one, get one free offer. Just when you thought MyPillow couldn't get any better, MyPillow 2.0 gives you the best pillow ever. Promo code TOM or call 800-516-5146 to get your MyPillow 2.0s now.
Hey folks, Judd Zulgad here. You know, wouldn't it be nice to lose over 20 pounds before summer? Well, you can with Livia's doctor-recommended program. Look and feel your best with a weight loss program voted #1 in Minnesota. Receive personalized and guided support from Livia's team of experts. Join today and receive 3 months free plus a free gift during Livia's Client Appreciation Week. What are you waiting for? Get summer ready with Livia. Call today, 855-GO-LIVIA, or visit livia.com. You know, I lost 40 pounds more than a year ago now, and here's the best part. Livia helps you keep the weight off. So we're not just talking weight loss here. We're talking weight loss and sustainable weight loss, and ultimately, that's the most important thing. Start your success today and get summer ready. Call 855-GO-LIVIA or visit livia.com. That's LIVEA.com. Join now and receive 3 months free plus a free gift. Call now, 855-GO-LIVIA or visit livia.com. Don't miss Livia's annual Spring Client Appreciation event, May 6th through the 12th, special savings, giveaways, and more.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. I have to ask you guys a question because I just got a text message from a listener. He said, what about Renfield? Now, Renfield that's what's his name?
Nicolas Cage?
Nicolas Cage, there you go. I've heard it's not very good.
I did too, and the premise was so funny. I wish it was.
So is it supposed to be funny?
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be a comedy, right?
Oh, is it? I don't know. I have no idea. But they asked me to maybe see that. I do like Nicolas Cage. I think he was on the show a few times back in the day. When what was the motorcycle movie he did again?
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider. There you go. Was that 1 and 2 or something like that? Mm-hmm. But he was on a few times when those movies came out. Just very, very pleasant guy.
57% with the critics, 79% with the audience.
Well, the audience likes it then.
Mm-hmm. That's not that bad then.
Maybe I'll watch that tonight then.
Yeah, get back to us.
Renfield. Now, that was the guy that was...
His assistant.
It was Dracula's assistant?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go. Renfield, get in here. I do that all the time. I go, Egert, get in here. You're the
Yes,
Renfield
sir. Yes,
of the
Tom,
show.
what can I do for you,
Yes,
sir?
sir. Yes, sir, Tommy. What's happening, Pally?
Nothing. How are you guys?
Magnificent. Having a pretty good day so far. I hope that we get a little break from the rain off and on today. That'd be good.
It's not going to rain all day, according to Barlow. It's just
Good.
going to, probably the chances are higher around dinner time, he said.
Whenever I check the weather, I keep the bar low. Huh? What do you think of that slogan?
This is the problem, Tom. Your watch only tells you kind of a generic thing. So
That's
you
true.
can't, You know,
Yep.
you listen to your local weather guys because they can really hone in right there.
I couldn't agree
and
more.
give you information you cannot get from your phone or your watch.
Same with news anchors. You got to
Isn't that
tune
true?
right in.
Isn't that true?
Morning show
Brittany's
host, not so
laughing.
much.
What the is that story you guys just told about the nut roll thing at work?
That's
that
a
was
true story.
horrifying.
He literally would flip. This thing was like 30 pounds. It was the size of, I don't even know what, a baby. I mean, like a 1-year-old. And he would flip it over, hollow out from the bottom. And but toward the end, there was just the shell of nuts and there was nothing in there.
That is so gross.
Isn't it disgusting?
Like somebody's like scooping. Oh my God. Listen, radio stations, TV stations.
Oh, yeah.
I assume the newspaper. Like people turn into freaking animals
Oh,
when
yeah.
there's food around.
And overnights, because
They
you have
do.
to keep in mind.
Oh God, yes.
Oh, when I was on an overnight, there'd be times where I was like, I'm so hungry, nothing's open, you can't get anything delivered. So all of a sudden, I'm like looking at the salespeople's mints on their desks, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna smash that. I'm gonna
There you
eat
go.
4 of their mints.
There you have it. I don't know. Well, it was pretty clever, actually, because nobody ever knew it was hollowed out until it finally collapsed in on itself.
God, like imagine surviving only on nougat for how long?
Oh, probably a month, I would guess, something like that. Disgusting. I do like a nut roll, though.
It reminds me of fishing with my grandpap.
Oh, that's very nice.
He used to always open up the cooler and he got a big smile on his face like he had this special surprise. And he's like, I got the nut rolls. And I'm like, oh.
So you used to fish with your grandfather?
Yeah, we used to go fishing all the time.
Oh, that's very nice to hear. Because
Yeah.
very quickly, I mean, just to keep, the grandfather thing, both my grandfathers were raging pricks. So anyway, moving forward. They were. They were two of the worst people I've ever met.
I think my grandfather on my dad's side had a lot of that going on.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. At least that's kind of, I don't remember him as much because he died when I was very young.
Oh.
But from what I can sort of cobble together through the annals of Egert history, it sounded like he liked to tip it back a little bit. And as a result, yep.
Hard to believe.
Yeah.
How could that ever happen?
That's
is what I'd like to
disgusting.
It really is. And I know that it hasn't continued for the last 3 generations since him, too.
You know what's great about that, though, Chris, and I'm very serious about it? The one thing about growing up with, the men on my side were not the greatest. I mean, my brother-in-law was a great guy. Patrick O'Brien was a really good guy. And there's some good, my brother-in-law, my Vicky's husband, really nice people. But one thing it taught me is I can tell you within 10 minutes of meeting someone why they are the way they are. Because I did so much studying psychology and why people would act the way why would you treat your grandchild like that, right?
Yeah.
And I learned a lot about that, and I can always tell within about a week what somebody went through. You can absolutely tell. There's no question about it. Because they have this kind of skewed view of the world. You know what I mean? Like you have this great memory of your grandfather fishing with you. It just made me very jealous. That's all I'm saying.
Well, he was a great grandfather. He reminded me, well, he's still alive, actually. He's like 93. He looks like James Garner. He reminds me of James Garner.
Really?
Remember James Garner when he
Sure.
was like at the height of cool? I always I don't know why I always thought he kind of reminded me of James Garner.
So is he your mother's father?
Yes.
Yeah.
And a full head of hair and like 93 years old and still has a touch with the ladies.
93.
This guy is a pimp.
A pimp? That's really a nice thing to say. Has he got the outfits and everything like Superfly?
No, but like a couple years ago, it wasn't that long ago, he hopped in his car and like drove across the country to go meet somebody who he'd met on the internet. Like, he still got it out there, which is awesome.
Get some.
You know,
Right?
by coincidence, yesterday I watched about 10 minutes of Superfly. That movie is now 53 years old.
Oh my God.
Ron O'Neal. You remember Superfly? You guys are
Yeah.
probably too young to remember that,
Yeah.
aren't you?
I had a
saw
Superfly.
it.
Yeah, I had a Superfly poster on my wall.
What, of Ron O'Neal?
Yeah, when I was like 17.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Because he died very young. You know, he died.
I think so.
He was in his late 40s, I think, somewhere. Maybe 50s. I don't know. But I watched about 10 minutes of it. Holy Christ, the world has changed a little bit in the last 53 years. One of my favorite scenes is, you know, because he was a black man, but he wasn't dark-skinned black man. He was kind of maybe a mix or something. I don't know what the hell it is. But my favorite line of the first 10 minutes of that movie is, "You white-looking mother effer." Well, that's kind of negative, don't you think? But no,
Mildly.
You guys are probably observant of other people and why they act and comport themselves the way they do, don't you? I mean, do you pay attention to that kind of thing?
I mean, I definitely do. Brittany, Rudy, I feel that older I've gotten to, I've been more perceptive of it and maybe a little more patient of it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and I think maybe part of that's having kids too, because you sort of watch them grow up and you're observing a little bit more than you are pre-kids. Right. I definitely am generally sizing people up, kind of trying to figure out, like, who hurt you?
That's exactly right. Well, because if they did, they're going to take it out on everybody they meet, including you.
Yeah.
That's just how people are.
Like, Brittany, who hurt you?
All of you. All of you every
one of
single
you.
day.
Every morning.
I come in here and I leave just in tears and bandages. That's interesting. I feel like you're so right, Chris, spot on with ever since having Go-Go, I find myself a lot more wiggle room with people because I see them I can see them as babies. I can see them, I go, oh my gosh, the idea that somebody put all this energy into them as a kiddo and wanted the best for them. And like, I can see them walking around with somebody at home worrying about them.
Well, don't you weigh the fact that what happened to them to make them act like that?
Yeah.
Because your other grandfather, your father's father, something happened to him that made him that big a prick.
It sounds like vodka happened to him.
Well, that's one of them.
You heard of it?
That's true.
I don't know that it's vodka, but I mean that was the way my mom described it. She'd be like, "Yep, he'd drink and he'd get angry, and that would be that." And I'm like, "Okay."
Why don't you go on and spank Chris? Is that how it was?
I definitely. I don't know, and to think about people. I mean, and the older I get too, and Tom, you're obviously a couple of years older than us.
Couple.
You still sort of look at people. The older I get, I'm like, we all kind of, when it comes down to it, we're all kind of like little kids trying to figure shit out, right? Like
your whole life.
You just look different on the outside, but on the inside, you're still just kind of trying to figure everything out. And
no doubt.
I find myself a lot more patient. Not always, but generally more patient with people.
No, well, I understand that. You can't be too patient with some people because they're a massive pain in the ass. That's just how it is. Right. Before we move on, I just do have to mention my mother's father. His name was Emil Dane, okay, German boy. And he was about 5'2". His wife, my grandmother, was 6 feet tall. That was quite the combo in the marriage.
Wow, yeah.
My grandmother was like 10 inches taller than my grandfather. It was really, and the other thing about my grandfather was, God, what a prick that man was. Can I do an impression of my grandfather?
Please.
Jesus Christ, you sons of bitches. He had that big lateral S deal going on. Mm-hmm. And I tell you what, I don't know what the hell happened to that sumbitch, but somebody messed him up badly. You guys see that stuff.
It sounds like he was, well, first of all, he's angry because he had a speech thing going on. His whole life, he was the short guy, so he had a chip on his shoulders, right?
Yep.
No offense, Rudy.
I don't think Rudy's 5'2". I'm pretty sure that he's...
No, but Rudy, you said there's a thing with having a chip on your shoulder about height, right?
Yeah, it makes you work a little harder when you're only 5'5". Yeah. As somebody once pointed out, if you're short, you got to work hard. That's how Mario got the princess. I was like, thanks, thanks, bud. No, I had a grandfather like that too. I didn't know him very well, but yeah, he was a guy who drank a lot and then would go outside and would be hammered at noon. And he went outside one day, and he was, I don't know, probably like upper 60s, low 70s, and was out there all vodka drunk, swinging a pickaxe.
Uh-oh.
And he caught the pickaxe in his eye and lost it.
There you go.
He never went to the hospital. He basically put a rag where it was and finished off his drinks, passed out, and then woke up, and they, put him in the Model A and brought him to a hospital. And they didn't listen. They don't go in and like disinfect or anything. They stitch the eyelid up. And go.
Whoa.
Well, that's that now. And he never.
You don't open that room anymore.
No, that was it. So
your grandma pulled up and go, "Hey, Popeye, get in the car."
Well, I think she was drunk too, so they both had to sober up. Yeah. So.
God, that's Minnesota living, isn't it? Right there.
Was there any complications of just sewing up an eye?
No, basically it was like skin. It was like they would just like, since it was so sewn together, it just basically formed skin over where his eyeball used to be, and that was it.
Chris has a
question.
Chris
is wound up.
Did they leave the remnant of the eye in there, or was it taken out?
No, it was all out. Yeah, the eye was gone. Yeah. It was just sitting at the end of the pickaxe, just like,
Because you still would have things, right? Like, could you
nerve
still have
endings
discharge, like if your eyes, like whatever, like there'd still maybe be things coming out, right?
Yeah, I imagine that they probably had to do something, cauterize the end of it, put them under and cauterize something. But yeah, basically there was no like, hey, we're gonna form your socket so you can have a glass eye. It was, we're gonna stitch it up with some super glue and you're gonna be on your way.
There you have it. Hey, Grandpa, your non-eye is watering. Be a nice touch, wouldn't it? That'd be a nice touch.
Crying underneath here. A little tear kind of like finds its way through.
He's kind of squeezing itself out. That's the one thing you can get really good at by doing a lot of research. Chris is falling apart. He's losing it.
Sorry.
Just pick on it, bro. No, but honestly, God, what you were talking about, you learned these things because it didn't sound like you had the most pleasant experience with one of your grandfathers. But when you do a lot of reading about it, and we brought up The Art of War this morning, that's one of the books you should, if you came from a turbulent family, because it is war. Whether you want to admit it or not, there is a war between you and this other relative, whether your mother, your father, your grandfather, whatever it is. To read The Art of War is really good because that whole divide and conquer thing is what we do now in America. Not the local news, but the national news divides and conquers. A lot of big businesses divide and conquer. It goes on. So the more reading you do about that, you can generally tell by the way somebody comports themselves, the way they walk, the way they look, the way they act, if there was ever any violence in their family. It's really easy to tell if somebody had a violent upbringing because it affects them forever.
Yeah, no,
it's true.
That's very true.
And no question about it. So I kind of like that about human beings, that they're so predictable. That's that kind of deal. So what else is happening? In anything good in the news?
Well, that's a matter of opinion, I guess. But
yes, I suppose.
I don't know if you guys saw this thing over the weekend. There was a bunch of video floating around of these fights that have been going on in Dinkytown by the U of M, and very bad. Like guys getting jumped and curb stomped, and like a really bad deal. Thing kind of blew up all over social media. Obviously, then the police came in and they're trying to use so many issues been going on with Dinkytown. They're having a meeting tonight again to try to get people together and figure out. But I don't know. It was a mess, and it flared into a big thing, and it flared into a racist thing, and it just.
Oh, it did. I didn't know the racist part of it.
Yeah, because the suspects in it were black, and the victims were white, and so it's there's a lot of layers to it. So.
Weren't there like 50 people out there acting like a-holes?
Yeah. There was a whole big bunch of guys, and I don't know. So that's going on. There is going to be a meeting tonight. I guess. What do? You got to try to do something, right?
Could you just please leave Dinkytown alone? Why do you have to? I loved going to Dinkytown back in the day. I never went to college. Well, I did for one day, but I've always loved that Dinkytown area. I just loved that area. Leave it alone.
it's such a unique area to have that right in between the two, right? It's such a heavily populated metro area. It's very unique to the University of Minnesota.
It is.
So I have every confidence that it creates challenges.
I could see
because
that.
you can't build a wall up around the entire University of Minnesota, right? Like, so what do?
You go eat at Sammy D's. Wait a minute, that's not open anymore. I used to love Dinkytown, man. You go into Sammy D's. It was on University and about 14th. Does that make sense? No, maybe not 14th, about like 12th, something like that. But it was a great Italian restaurant. It's Mama D, Sammy D. She was a wonderful. I haven't talked to her in years. I hope she's still doing well. But just so many great memories of going to parties there, going to restaurants there, just be able to walk around Dinkytown at 2 a.m. and nobody'd bother you. And now it's completely different, of course.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be doing that myself. This is an interesting one. No pun intended. It's never going to fly. The Biden administration's talking about trying to make airlines really give people a lot of compensation for losing a flight or having to be rescheduled. What do you think's going to happen if they regulate the airlines? Brittany, you're flying down to Florida, you get delayed, and now Southwest has to not only they have to put you up in a hotel, they got to pay for a dinner, they got to give you a rental car. Well, what do you think is going to happen to your $39 fare?
Prices are going up.
Yeah, because we're going to pay for it. You're absolutely right. They're not going to pay for it. We're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
So that's something that's being batted around right now. I guess there's some similar laws in Canada and Europe, but the airline industry is already coming out. They're like, hold on. Now, I do think that, and I don't know how you do it, I do think the airline industry has a lot of struggles right now with staffing and yada, yada, yada. But I still think there does need to be some accountability there, too. It can't just be a understood thing that's going to happen that when you fly, you're probably going to be delayed or you're probably going to sit on the tarmac for 3 hours. You know what I mean? It should be a reasonable expectation that you can go to the airport and get to where you want to go.
Yeah, and it's weird. You could never have this happen in a concert where they can oversell the flight and then go, hey, sorry, we don't have a seat for you.
Right.
So there has to be there's got to be a give and take with that because it's like there's some weird part where you're like, what do you mean? You know how many seats, you know how many people are coming. What do you mean you overbook the flight?
I think it was just you. They only do that to you.
Just me.
That's exactly right.
Whenever your name comes up on the manifest, Brittany, they're like, oh.
Not this one.
Brittany again.
Not this one.
We're not doing it again. One of my favorite things along those very lines, because you're right, you and I will end up paying for everybody else's airfare overcharges, right? Mm-hmm. And in the movie The In-Laws with Peter Falk, Alan Arkin, brilliant. You ever seen the movie?
Long time ago.
Oh, my God, it's one of the best movies ever made. And they're sitting around, and Peter Falk went and bought something, right? And he comes out and he looks at Alan and goes, what's the world coming to? He goes, what do you mean? He goes, well, what's the world going to be like when it's like $1,200 for a 6-pack of Budweiser? Yeah, $200 a can. That's a little expensive, but other than that. But no, can you fly anywhere? Can you get those low fares anymore? Or is everything in the $500 range now?
Well, if you're flying like a Spirit or, some of those, they still have like these crazy low, but you pay for everything. You pay to get you pay to bring a cookie and a napkin on board. It's like they get you with every single thing. But I don't know. Again, I get the concept of it. It does suck, and your whole trip gets ruined, and blah 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 blah. You'd like to think there's some accountability there, but I don't know.
I don't know. That's just Rudy, you still fly a lot, don't you?
Quite a bit, yeah.
And how do you do that? You got to hop from place to place to place. Are most of your flights like 500 miles, something like that?
Yeah. So I kind of have a rule with me where anything within 7 hours, I'll drive. So if I'm going to do a stand-up gig,
idea.
7 hours is about the most my body can do in one way before I have to stop. But anything more than that, I try to fly. Like I'm going to Oklahoma City next Friday, and it took me forever to find a flight, but I finally found one through Southwest. Mm-hmm. One way down there was $179. because trying to get to Oklahoma City, huge pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Flights are like $600 if you go through like a Delta or you get anything like that. One way I was going to try to do it was leave here on, because there's a flight from Denver to Oklahoma City, and it leaves at like 2 in the afternoon. The problem is I'd have to find a way to get to Denver, so I'd have to take a Delta flight to Denver, land at like 5:15 in the morning, go out to get my luggage, go back through security, and then wait another 7 hours until that flight left from Denver to get to Oklahoma City.
Oh, God.
But I didn't realize that Southwest, this is some good information, Southwest does not put their flights on like aggregators. You can't go to Kayak or like.
Oh, you can't.
That's true. I had no idea. So I just went to MSP. I went to the airport website and was looking at airlines and found Southwest and went, oh, how come they're not popping up? And I looked and sure as can be, there's a $179 flight to get to Oklahoma City. I land in St. Louis. I'm there for 2 hours. I get to Oklahoma City at like 11 a.m.
Honest to God, there are no direct flights to Oklahoma City.
No, almost
That's
none.
Weird.
There's a super late one that Delta has, and I think it's like 7 p.m. So I couldn't take that on Friday because I would have missed the Friday night shows. And then I was like, well, I'm not going to go Thursday because then I'm just sitting there for an extra day by myself. So, yeah, it's kind of P in the A, those smaller markets like that that are in the middle of nowhere.
I understand. A P in the A, really?
Yeah.
You cleaned up. What are you cleaning up around Brittany for? Because now she's going to take it that much further with the F-bomb.
Yeah. Well, you can go ahead and determine yourself what P and A stand for. So.
That's true.
You are right. Yep.
That's true. You can do that.
Pumpkin in the A.
Pumpkin and apricot.
Yep.
That's what it stands for.
Why
Pumpkins
couldn't I
and
think of
apricots.
any word that started with an A?
I kind of noticed that. That's why I jumped in.
Arby's starts with A.
Arby's would be
Oh,
good. Yeah.
you know what? I almost swore again. You know what, Chris? You know what? Nothing.
You know what? You know what?
You know what? You hurt my feelings. Okay.
I don't know why you're ashamed of going to Arby's. Who cares, man?
I love Arby's.
Screw you. Okay, you know it was a shameful day, and I had to announce it to everyone at Wells Fargo, and then I told Rudy, who I thought at the time was a friend, and I learned early that he is not.
Wow.
I should mention, by the way, you were 100% right, because I know you got to go, but I want to mention you're 100% right. Every one of the thunderstorms they predicted just disappeared from my watch. They're all gone now. So why do they put those up there if they don't know for sure it's going to happen?
I mean, just so they give you it's a shot. You know, there's a shot. There's a chance.
Yeah, but they just disappeared. Literally, when I got here this morning at like 6:40, they said it was going to rain for 4 straight hours from like 8 to 12. And now those are all gone. So Ken Barlow, even though he works at a different morning show, which I'm going to push him down next time I see him. I just want you to know that.
Don't
push him
down. I like him, and he's very fragile as it is.
Well, there you go. That's everything then, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, see, look on my phone, it still says it's going to rain every damn hour starting at 7 o'clock.
Oh.
Which was, of course, an hour and 45 minutes ago.
That's kind of also your mentality, anyways.
Yeah, maybe you got that special
write
Linus
stuff
watch where the rain cloud's just over your head.
Here's the thing, Chris. This will give you some
Both of
insight.
leave me alone.
Catherine's gone.
Sucks.
So he's just.
That's all I'm saying. I don't have anyone, complaining to me or anything. Feels really uncomfortable.
Yeah, totally. You act like a big.
Really uncomfortable not having somebody.
Every day.
Tom, I'll come pick you up and we'll go to Arby's later. We'll grab Brittany. We'll go get some potato cakes.
Don't come out.
We got the finger. You see that? She gave us both the finger.
Get a roast beef. We can go make an egg, throw it on the top of that sumbitch, just like back in the day, and we'll be good.
Okay, we got to go. We got to promise me one thing. After we eat, we have to go over to Dinkytown and punch someone. Okay?
No, I'm not greenlighting any of this.
I'm not greenlighting this.
I'll go to Arby's, fine.
But
I'll go to Arby's with you guys, and I'll really enjoy it. I don't want to eat in front of you guys, though. I want to eat alone in a car by myself.
Okay.
But I'll go with you guys.
Not a problem. Chris, always a great pleasure, sir. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Adios.
We have to take a break. Be right back in a couple minutes. Luke Russert. This is going to be. I am looking forward to this interview. I was a huge fan of his father. He used to be on the queue all the time with me. When God, how many years ago did he pass away now?
Ooh, I think he's like 8 or 9, maybe a little more than that.
It might even be. We'll have to check that out. But Luke Russert, his son, is with us right after this.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Listen live on the Tom Barnard Show app or at tombernardshow.com.
Hi, this is Tom Barnard. If you've been listening, you know I'm a fan of Nissan vehicles. I own an Altima. My son and daughter-in-law both own Nissans, and we bought them all at Walser Nissan stores here in the Metro. They hang their hats in Burnsville, Wayzata, and Coon Rapids. So why is Walser different than other Nissan stores? And why should you absolutely go there this month? Tell them I personally sent you to lease or buy your next vehicle. First, there's Walser Care, a complimentary powertrain warranty that will keep you covered for miles to come for free at Walser Nissan. This month, you can score 0% financing for up to 60 months on select Nissans, or you can lease the 2023 Nissan Pathfinder S for only $269 a month. You'll need to tell them you want the Tommy B deal, of course. That's understood. So, not just Nissan, but Walser Nissan, Burnsville, Wayzata, and Coon Rapids. Don't forget to let them know the Tom Barnard family sent you and ask for the Tommy B deal. Go to walser.com and select the Walser Nissan store nearest you.
$269 per month for 24 months. 10,000 miles per year. $5,900 due at signing. VIN PC 261725.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know when Mr. Russert's ready to go.
I certainly will, yeah.
Thank you very much. A little news, a little information. We talked about, what'd you say? Your mother said it was the National Nurses Week or something?
Yeah, National Nurses Week.
It is.
Yep.
Well, it's also Teacher Appreciation Week.
Well, that's a lot they're putting in 1 week.
Well, that's what I was wondering.
They should each get their own week.
They should each get their own week. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
This week is Teacher Appreciation Week, and if you're not sure how to participate, teachers have one word for you: gifts. Oh, you buy them a gift. Okay, that'll work.
Yeah.
In the old days, an apple might have done the trick, but these days, a lot of teachers have wish lists set up on Amazon. In a survey of more than 1,000 teachers, 75% said they'd love to have an appreciation shown through gift cards and items purchased off their Amazon wish lists. But most teachers aren't asking for, like, a new air fryer. Why do people write things like that in there?
Hilarious.
Hilarious, man. The wish lists are usually filled with classroom supplies, stuff that they may have to purchase out of their own. So teachers still have to purchase items out of their own pockets.
Yeah.
How is that not taken care of?
Isn't that crazy?
It's just insane, for Christ's sake. It just is.
No, it's not good.
Nearly 50% of teachers say the number one supply they're always running out of is writing utensils, like pens, crayons, pencils, and markers. Yeah, I know what a writing utensil is. You didn't have to tell me. Right?
I love that. Like a crayon, a pen. It's like, is this you get paid by the word here? Isn't that insane?
Maybe.
They don't write in blood anymore? Come on.
You could do it in blood.
Get a quail out.
Also not a bad idea. Write the whole damn thing down in blood. Yeah, I don't know. It's teachers, nurses. It's a good thing. Take care of them. Get out there, do your damn job, and treat people treat people well, right?
Yeah, and
it's their week.
The idea that a teacher has to buy their own supplies just seems ridiculous.
I couldn't agree more. It's terrible, and it should not be happening. But where's all the money going? Because don't we dump a ton of money into our education system?
I don't know.
So they don't have enough money to buy a pencil?
I don't know.
You ready to go?
Hey, he's ready to go, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome broadcast news correspondent Luke Russert. How are you, sir?
Hey, good morning. Thanks so much for having me on. I was just listening to that conversation you had. One of my book is about traveling the world. Is one of the many themes in it. But one of the things that you realize when you travel is America really is a land of abundance, and not to be able to have enough supplies for teachers or kids to go hungry. That is something like you guys. I cannot fathom in this country. It makes no sense. It's too bad. It really is too bad. So God bless the teachers, and they should get all the supplies they need, and every kid should be able to have a healthy lunch at school. And that's my, not being too political, but that's just something that's so basic in this country.
I couldn't agree more, Luke. There's no question about it. Look for me there. News legend Tim Russert would tell us his son, Luke, when confirming a pickup spot at an airport, sporting event, rock concert, after look for me there. Is that what he always said to you? Look for me there.
Yeah.
I love
especially in the pre-cell phone era where you had to have a pickup point, or if you got lost at an event, sort of, hey, we get separated, look for me there. And that's the title of the book, and it was born out of what he said to me. And it's prescient because what the book is about is looking for something, which is ultimately acceptance to go on my own path. But it's a book that's meant to make you laugh, make you cry, and hopefully leave you feeling a little less lost after you finish it.
Well, anybody that that has ties with their own family. It's not always the case anymore. I should tell you up front, Luke, that I started this business at a very young age. I was a young teen boy when I started in radio, now podcasting, of course, because that's the next step. But I've been in radio since I was a teenage boy, and I used to talk to your father all the time. So just to see your name up there, to see his name up there, I cannot tell you how much I enjoyed working with your father. Now, we didn't work together, but he would come on my shows, and I always loved to see his name on the docket because he just, much like you, Luke, he was a tremendous man, no doubt about it.
Well, you're very kind, and he loved to connect with people, and that's one of the things that I think it's so interesting now. It's sort of, we live in an era which has never been easier to connect with people through social media, yet we feel so disconnected, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he would get on radio, and he just loved to converse and talk because he would feel like he learned something that day, especially with radio shows around the country. And it's just something that's so important. You really sort of get a window into the world of how other folks are doing, and what they see is, in his case, news, but also just the personalities and whatnot.
You know what I still love, Luke? I'm getting all these memories back, and I'm sure you heard this a lot more often than I ever did. But I literally talked to your father. I can't even tell you how many times I talked to him or sat in a studio with him and did a show or whatever it was. It was a lot, though. But the one thing I loved about your father, when I'd go down a path he didn't want to go down, he would always go, "Tom, I don't think you want to go down that path." He'd get this look on his face, and it was just hilarious. A great man. I do.
Yeah, that's funny. That's literal. I love that.
So you literally have, I'm sure you've witnessed it from your father to you many times, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're headed down the wrong path, Luke. I just want to tell you.
Well, it was one of the things that was just so interesting, growing up with him as a father, because he was very invested. I mean, he was so giving of his time.
Yes, sir.
I didn't realize that until I had my own stint at NBC, just how impressive that was. But I think one of the things that made him very special and very unique was that it was honest time, and he asked you questions that gave him the ability to put together, all right, what was going on in your life? Whether I was an 8-year-old or 16 or 20, 21, 22 when he passed. And he did that with a lot of folks. And one of the things that just was so heartwarming after he passed away was so many people reached out to me and said, your dad really cared. And caring came from those conversations and seeing what paths people were going down, for sure.
That's absolutely right on the money, Luke. It's so great to talk to you about this. And it would do the world so much good. A lot of people that don't get along all that well anymore. And for someone, how long ago did you lose your father?
It'll be 15 years coming up June 13th. It's amazing.
Because I was just asking Rudy on the show, how long ago did we lose Tim Russert? And he said, about 9 years. 15, but then he said maybe it might have been a lot longer. 15 years, Rudy.
Wild. It feels like just yesterday.
Yeah, and it's amazing because we're 15 years out, and it really, when we look back on it, feels like an end of an era. And that was, the era of the broadcast news, a morning show, an evening show. There were still print newspapers. Mm-hmm. Digital was taking off, but it wasn't as strong as it is now. Social media, especially in the news sense, was not as prominent as it is now.
Right.
And I think people look back on that time with nostalgia. It was a gentler, more honest and understanding time. And when he died, I really think a lot of people see that was the end of it for what we knew, because then everything just jumped into Twitter sphere and TikTok and everything in between.
Dehumanized, exactly. I have a big problem with that, Luke. I really do.
I couldn't agree with you more. And one of the things that's so frustrating is on social media, like there's so many people, they don't realize the what exactly they're saying. And it does dehumanize. And it kind of gets scary, right? Especially how people pile on someone or are keyboard heroes. And that's something which we don't have any idea what the long-term effects of it are going to be. We really don't. I mean, this is the beginning of a very interesting time in world history.
So what's great for me, Luke, and I'm getting more me now. I just want to throw this part in there that 20 years ago. So actually, you go back 25 years, whatever. 30 years. I guess it's been that long now. Since we sit and do the, talk about the news, do this, all the rest of it. He was a very smart man. He was a very generous man with his time, and he obviously was a damn good father.
Yeah, and one of the things he used to say to me was, "You're always loved, but you're never entitled."
Ooh,
that's something. Yeah, and that's something which I took to heart as best I could as a young kid. But I look around now and I realize, man, that was really good advice.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in the social media age that we live in. But the one thing that I also look back on now and was so heartwarming going through this book and the process of writing it was he was somebody who, more than anything else, just wanted you to be comfortable and wanted you to be happy. And I was going through a few difficult things in the process of writing this, where, especially towards the end of my career at NBC, I realized I was white-knuckling things so much. I was anxious about the position. I wasn't feeling fulfilled. And I thought, your dad wouldn't want you to white-knuckle things.
Sure.
Right? That's like the last thing in the world he would want you to do. He'd want you to be happy and be yourself. So it's something which I think a lot of people can relate to, and especially his parenting style that, we're 15 years out, and I still look to it as such a wonderful standard and one I hope down the line to meet myself.
Amazing. Tim Russert was one of my favorite people ever. Luke Russert, his son, broadcast news correspondent. This was not long enough. 10 minutes went by in about 2 minutes, Luke. It wasn't long enough. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, thank you, Tom, for having me. I really appreciate it.
Please do come back, and I'll close with this. You're going to make me tear up, Luke. This is your fault. After Tim died unexpectedly, Luke kept looking for his father. What a wonderful line that is, Luke.
Thank you so much, and I hope to do a signing in Minneapolis. I will definitely let you know. Because support from that community has been incredible.
You got to come in, Luke. You got to come in studio. I'd love to meet you.
Would be great. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Great guy, Luke Russert, ladies and gentlemen, the son of Tim Russert. I'm telling you, Tim Russert was one of the nicest people I've ever met. Very smart man. And we used to just sit, we'd do the show and all that stuff. He'd come on, and then he'd sit around after the shows, and we'd schmooze for a while. Just a great guy. I can think of many other news anchors I'd rather see dead. You know what I mean?
Oh, my God. Why do you have to go there?
I'm just kidding, for Christ's sake. I'm trying to ease up because I might tear up reading that. I mean, honest to God, I got to read that line again because it's a great line, especially from Luke Russert to Tim Russert. After his father died unexpectedly, Luke kept looking for his father. What a brilliant line that is.
Well, it's so hard when you come from legacy like that.
Oh, yeah.
To be able to find yourself because you just feel like you're just so trapped. I imagine just the amount of anxiety it caused being like, I have to be a great journalist because both my parents were. You know?
That's true.
Couldn't imagine.
There's no question about it. I mean, they're like your situation, Brittany's situation, my situation, totally different. But the real disaster in this whole thing is Judd Zulgad. He's a complete disaster.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
That, I don't know if we can even bother to talk to him about this. Wait
Hey,
a
guys,
minute.
what's up?
He's with
Hey, Tom.
us.
Brittany, Rudy, what's going on?
We just talked to Luke Russert, the son of Tim Russert, and I just talked about how fortunate I was many, many years ago to sit in studio. And I talked to, God, I don't know how many times I sat in a room and talked to Tim Russert and talked to him on the phone, talked to him. Just a great guy, and his son is every bit a nice man that he was.
He seemed like a journalist that he could disagree with you and still be cordial to you.
No question about
True, very true.
No question about it.
Huge sports fan, too. Massive
Yes,
Buffalo Bills fan.
Oh, that's very good, man. The Buffalo
Loved
Bills.
his Buffalo Bills.
He did
that
indeed.
was really sad.
By the way, I just want to and pass this along to Phil. I feel so sorry for you guys, but you put on that thing over at the Park Tavern, and they couldn't get one more person in there, and of course the downloads look just horrible from that period.
I'll tell Phil.
You guys
I'll say,
kicked ass, man. That was great to see.
It was such a good time, and it's incredible that community that we've built through that show. Tom, has been just so fantastic. And you know what? I think it is a sign that there is a very large portion of the Vikings fan base who, while they love the team, just like us, desperately want to see one Super Bowl win before we all die, which is our credo. Because honest to God, just one. Okay, I'm not demanding a Patriots run. I'm not demanding 10 years of greatness. How about just one Lombardi Trophy? How about just one parade where we again can, and you'll appreciate this, close down I-94 from Minneapolis to St. Paul to have some type of parade like we did for the Twins, because it's been too damn long, man.
Got to get it done. There's no question about it. The Minnesota Vikings. So what do you think of the draft? What did you think of it?
I thought it was okay. Here's the thing. We all try and instantly say, oh, yeah, great pick, bad pick, great pick. And then if the guys don't play well in their first year, which, by the way, lots of guys don't, we say terrible draft, right? I think it's one of the most overanalyzed as far as trying to just completely guess. I don't think that for 3 years.
Yeah.
At least, right?
Yeah. I could see that. We need, I don't know. I love the Vikings. I've talked about this before. I'm a huge Twins fan. Right behind them would be the Vikings. And honest to God, it's been 50, 60 years, whatever the hell it's been. Yeah. Could you just win one Super Bowl?
1961. Well, they have not been to one since, the 76 season, January of 77?
That's correct.
The incredible thing is they have not even been back for a majority of their fan base's lifetime.
So 46 years, huh?
Yeah.
46 years.
It was Oakland, because they went to 4 in the 70s. and the last one was the 76 into 77 in Pasadena, where the Raiders kicked their ass.
Yeah.
And that's the last time.
I just can't believe it's been 46 years that I've been begging them to win a Super Bowl. And that run they had in the 70s was just brilliant. God, I was like, and then every time they went to the Super Bowl, they had to get their ass handed to them. It was very hard to deal with. Yeah,
and that Chiefs one, the first one, I think, is still, because they were 11-point favorites, 12-point, they were seen as the dominant league. Now, that Chiefs team was good, but I think that's the one where you definitely got off on the wrong foot by losing that game to a team in the different league.
Len Dawson, right?
Yeah.
Len Dawson whipped their ass.
Smoking at halftime, right?
Yes, exactly. That's right. I forgot about that. Having a cigarette at halftime. What a world.
And a cigarette.
I do appreciate one thing, that we're talking about the Vikings here and not the Instway, if you know what I'm saying.
I wondered when you were going to bring them up.
Oh, God, Judd. How can you look that bad against Chicago and Cleveland? They couldn't hit the damn ball.
I know. And their pitching has been so good that it's such a waste.
Yep. Their pitching's been fine.
It's one thing if they just stink, right? That's too bad. But if the whole team stinks, it's like, okay, that's a problem, but at least for the most part they stink. But you're right, and the pitching's been great, and they can't get a hit. Correa's below 200. Huh?
I know. What is it? What's going on? Why is this happening?
To us again, I don't know. Look, I get the fact that they are at the plate not great, but they're not this bad.
No, they're not this bad. They have that Yankee series proved, and the Yankees are okay this year. They're not great, but still going into New York and winning games in New York is something the Twins have never been able to do in the last 50 years. So I don't know. It's just breaking my heart. I thought they were going to be a lot better than they are.
In first place still by 2.5 games on Detroit, which is playing well. And now the Twins have the Padres for 3 at Target Field, and then the Cubs for 3.
And the weather should be okay. They're talking about maybe some thunderstorms popping up. First game tonight, right? I hope the weather can hold off so we can get some decent baseball in.
I was going to say, I think it was decent for it's going to a potential rain, like you said, today, and then I think potential rain again on Friday. But as long as it's not 40, I'm fine.
Let's talk to Ken Barlow.
Let's get on Ken Barlow's ass and get him to reverse.
Get him on the line.
Get him on the line right now. But
enough is enough.
I just, to see that team the way they opened, I was like, oh my God, this team looks really, really good. And you keep going forward, and it just, those 6 games really pissed me off. I'm like, how can you be so bad against horrible teams.
Explain this. How are they so bad consistently as well with the bases loaded?
I know.
This season. They're awful.
Bases loaded, nobody out, and couldn't even move anybody up one base.
What, pop-up, I think, called an infield fly rule, if I'm not mistaken. And then Nick Gordon, who's, by the way, fast, grounds into a double play.
I saw that. He stood in the box for a while. Did you notice that? He hit the ball.
Bramer mention that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
He stood in the box and he just stood there.
Back in the day, that earns you a ticket to the bench.
I agree.
Not a continuing to play reward.
So I will watch them. Catherine's out of town, so I'll probably watch the game tonight. And they got to start hitting the ball. They got talent. They got a lot of good talent in that team. Why aren't they hitting?
I don't know. And I'm not saying across the board that they're phenomenal.
No.
But you know, they scored 9 runs in the first against the Yankees. Was that 3 weeks ago now?
Yes,
a month ago?
Yep.
I mean, they've got enough talent to score some damn runs. And when the bases are loaded, I'm not asking you to clear the bases. We're asking you to get a run or two home.
A couple of fly balls would be good.
Right? That's those 6 games. They gave up 18 runs, which is fantastic.
Yes, absolutely.
They scored 18, and the problem was it included in the extra inning game at Chicago 7.
Right.
So that's the thing, is just get a couple across. Like, this is baseball. We're not asking for a miracle here. But, you know, and Nick Gordon, can you run out of the box?
That would be good.
He would have beaten that.
Yeah, he would have absolutely beaten that. We'd have gotten a run out of it. But he didn't. And I just don't understand.
Right.
I just don't understand. We'd have been 1 run behind. We'd have been 2-1 at that point. Maybe change the whole game. Maybe it wouldn't, but maybe it would. But the fact that he stood there and watched the ball, I'm like, what are you doing?
And what bugs me is this. So, because there is, you know, there's always the fans that are like, oh, you guys, it's baseball. It's a small sample size. It's early.
No.
Okay, stop the nonsense. Here's my problem with it. You are wasting pitching performances in which you should be banking wins.
No question.
How long have we waited, Tom, for this team to have pitching this good?
If I were the Gallo family, descended from the original Joey Gallo, who was in the Mafia, I'd call him up and go, Joey, you can't use that name anymore. You're going to have to change your name because the original Joey Gallo is getting pissed off in hell. That's all I'm saying.
Joey Gallo, listen to me. Listen closely.
You better get up there and get a hit, kid. That's all I'm saying. That'd be phenomenal. That'd be just threaten every batter.
Go Godfather on him.
I gotta watch The Godfather again one of these days, man. I loved that movie so much, can't even tell you. But yeah, I look, I'm still excited about my Twins. They're still in first place, but it looks very, very bad right now because they just cannot hit right now.
I love, and I've brought this up before, though. I love the fact that you get passionate, though.
Oh,
so
I do.
Say, I love my Twins, and it'll be fine, and they're all still great. I love the fact that you say, you know what? It pisses me off that they can't score a damn run. I love that about you.
I have neighbors on both sides, go 3 houses on one side, 4 houses on the other side. Our neighbors all get along really, really well. And I won't say which one it was, but one of my neighbors, I ran into him on Sunday, right? Mm-hmm. He goes, so the Twins must have lost. I said, yeah, they did lose. What do you mean they must have lost? He said, because I was walking up my drive and I heard, son of a bitch! So I knew they must have lost.
That's how he follows the Twins.
He follows the Twins by me screaming at the television.
By going for walks and listening to Tom Bernard's voice echo from his house. Various profanities. That's very PG-13 of you, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Wasn't no F-bombs.
Clean there.
No, that's true. That's very, very true.
Much worse.
What does a manager do? What does he do now and step up and say, look, we got to do this, this, and this. Don't you ever stand in the box again and watch your ground ball and hit into a double play. What do you get your head out of your ass?
You know, that's a very interesting question because there was about 3 or 4 years ago, it might have been Rocco's first year, 2019, Tom, when there was a similar situation, and you won't be surprised to hear the story. Eddie Rosario.
Oh, sure.
Hit a ball off the right field wall at Target Field, but of course he thought it was going to be a home run, so he started trotting. and nothing happened. Like, he didn't get lifted. He got a double. He cost him, he probably cost himself a triple. I think he got a double. At worst, he didn't. He got a single. But anyway, I was talking to Rocco a couple days after, and I said, what do you do about that? Like, that seems to be a problem.
Right.
He was at the time, and I would take it still is, a very live and let live guy. He is very forgiving. So I don't know that he does a thing about it. He might mention it, but I don't think he doesn't. The days of Gene Mock are long gone.
Gino. I miss Gino.
Oh, Gene would have sat your ass down and you wouldn't have played for a week.
You got that right. He once gave me the finger, which I really appreciate.
Hey, for what?
Because
I got all these stories.
I was criticizing the team and Gino because I used to sit 2 rows behind the Twins dugout. This is at the old Met back in the Gene Mock days, right?
Of course.
And some, boo and that sucked and blah. Come on, Gene, get this team, get your head out of your ass, get the team rolling. As he walked into the dugout, never looked up at me, but he stuck his finger up his hat like this. He went, "I'm gonna push my hat up." He rubbed his forehead with his FU finger.
Oh my! What a moment of pride for you.
Oh, it was. It was magnificent.
Oh, that's a story for a lifetime. You can tell your friend Gene Mock, one of the great baseball minds of all time, flipped you the bird.
He didn't. But my favorite of all time, I was sitting behind home plate, which is a good thing. I was sitting behind home plate because I was riding Fred Lynn's ass. I was much younger in those days. You have to understand. But I was riding Freddie Lynn, telling him, "You suck. There's no way you're getting a hit." And I'm just riding the hell out of him, right? He did strike out. And somehow, I don't know, when he swung, he let go of the bat that hit right in front of me in the screen. If that screen wasn't there, I'd have been hit right in the face with a baseball bat.
Oh, nice aim for Freddie Lynn.
Oh, it was great. I mean,
Sent a message, huh?
It was very accurate, I'll tell you that. Reggie Jackson once bent over and gave me the finger between his legs. I used to love.
Listen to these stories.
Oh, I loved it.
These are historical baseball names.
Marty Lango and I used to go out there. Marty lives in Arizona now. Last I heard, anyway, he lives in Arizona. But he and I would go out and ride the piss out of mostly the opposing team, once in a while our own team. But my God, those guys would get pissed off.
Oh, my God, that's so... But, I mean, Reggie Jackson, Freddie Lynn, Gene Mock giving you the finger?
But Don Baylor was my favorite. I told you the Don Baylor one, didn't I?
Yeah, he threatened to kill you.
He threatened to kill me, and he was about 2 feet from me when he did. I was like,
yeah,
whoa.
That's where it gets real, by the way.
Oh, he's a big fella. There's no doubt about that.
That's where it gets real. But so were your seats behind home plate, the dugout, or both?
Actually, my seats, I had 4 seats right behind the Twins dugout. But back in those days, it was at the old Met, and not a lot of attendance at those games.
Yeah.
So you could basically move and sit wherever you wanted to.
Nice.
I
bet your voice, in retrospect now, I started to follow the Twins hardcore in '78. I bet your voice was among those that on the broadcast on CCO I could always hear.
Well, you could, because I knew right where the microphone was. It was hanging on the back. It was hanging on the backstop. And I knew right where it was. So if I really wanted to get at somebody, I'd sit right under that microphone. Now, look, I was in my 20s, I was a young man and a prick. But other than that.
Just that added on. Was the key word, though.
Yeah,
was.
No,
not anymore.
No doubt about it.
First of all, in your 20s, you can be a prick.
That's true.
Let's be
that's
honest,
true,
okay?
yeah. You're
right.
Let's not get down on Tom for taking advantage of a youthful time. But the other thing is, I love the fact that you actually got reactions.
Oh, a lot. All the time we did. Because nobody else would do that kind of thing. Marty Lango and I would do it, and nobody else would do it. So even when they came to town after a couple of years, they'd always look around and find out where I was.
So were you there in, this must have been, I think it was 76, when Burtt flipped off the crowd?
I don't remember being there. No, I may have been there, but I don't remember being there.
Because he was being ridden by some younger men behind the Twins dugout.
Okay, so maybe I was at the game. Never mind.
I was just curious if you might. Now that's the all-time Bird because he held the finger up and made it very clear.
He did, yeah.
But I mean, just going from your stories right now, That sounds like it might have been a guy with
76.
a few beers and some, and Burt wanted out, and it was known, and so I think that made things worse.
What do you go to the Angels or something?
Texas.
Oh, he went to Texas. There you go. Okay, yeah, there you go. You know what? It had to have been me because in 1976, nobody did that kind of stuff except for Marty and me.
One of the most incredible stories of that trade, though, is the fact that Calvin Griffith included Danny Thompson, the shortstop, in that trade. He had leukemia and was dying.
Oh, my God.
And Calvin, I don't know how he got him in the trade, but he traded a guy who was having treatments in 1976, too. So, like, it's not now where I feel like it's a bit more advanced, right? How about that? I've always asked Pat that. I said, Royce, how did they trade a guy who they basically knew was dying?
Yeah, how do you do that?
I don't know.
I mean, it's not very humane, is it?
No.
Not to me, anyway, it's not. But, oh, God, we better take a break here. You get till 37, correct?
Yep.
Okay, I want to make sure. We'll be right back. More with Skor North's Judd Zulgad with us right after this.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show.
As you know, my friend Mike Lindell has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep of your life. He didn't stop by simply creating the best pillow. Mike created the Giza Dream bed sheets. They look and feel great, which means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule. Mike found the world's best cotton. It's called Giza. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. Mike's Giza sheets come with a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. Giza Dream Sheets come in a variety of sizes and colors. Mike's latest incredible deal is the sale of the year. For a limited time, you'll receive 50% off the Giza Dream Sheets. You'll receive a set for as low as $29.98. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square, and use promo code TOM. There you'll find not only this amazing offer, but also deep discounts on all MyPillow products, including the MyPillow 2.0 mattress topper, MyPillow towel sheets, and so much more. Call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM. Or go to MyPillow.com. Make sure you use the promo code TOM.
The new Tom Barnard Morning Show is proud to have partners like North American Banking Company, Bradshaw & Bryant, MyPillow, and attorney and advertiser Dave Bialke.
I've been advertising on Tom Barnard shows for years. I like Tom, not just because he's a good guy, but because the ads I run on his show bring me new clients that are hurt at work and need legal help. Tommy B works for me.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Brittany, Rudy, of course, Judd Zulgad with us from Skor North.
Yeah.
Just kind of railing on the Twins. Oh, you got something you want to read to us?
Yeah, I got a question from a listener.
Excellent.
From Corey.
No, I don't want to talk to Corey.
Oh, never mind. This is the sound of me deleting.
Yeah, there you
go. He wrote, about the Twins, can we talk about how last week Polanco hit the ball hard, assumed it was going out of the park, trotted out of the box, and was thrown out at second, ended the inning and lost the game by 1 run?
That's what we're talking about. They have got to, and it's on Rocco, isn't it? On Judd, this is Rocco's problem, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and it's ridiculous that guys don't get out of the box. I don't care if it's a ground ball to short or a deep fly ball. You know, I mean, the assumption that you're going to go into a trot or should is ridiculous. The other thing, too, is the one thing I will say is this. I would like to see them join what appears to be baseball in 2023 and in trying to manufacture. And I know that became a big thing, you know, no bunting allowed now, right? For a few years, the advanced metrics community was all up in arms about don't give up outs, home runs are it. Try and manufacture something.
That would be good.
Runs across.
Yep.
They still hit a ton of home runs, but I think it's been proven now time and time again that that's not a formula to win baseball games all the time. You know what? Once in a while, you're going to hit a ton of them. It's great, right? But let's steal more bases. Let's see more stolen bases.
Yes.
Let's try and if you can't score runs, which they can't do right now, you know, there's a lot of teams that get creative. And it's not like, Tom, against Cleveland, it had to be a ton of runs.
No,
because the pitching's good.
You're right.
So just manufacture a few.
Yep. But that's on the management, isn't it? So it's on Rocco and all the coaches that work with him. They got to figure this out and get it done.
Absolutely. And the Polanco point is spot on. It's exactly what we're talking about as far as being a problem.
I want to enjoy my Twins. I mean, we're only, the 9th of May today. Season's been going on for, 5 weeks, something like that?
Yep.
Right in there. We got a lot of baseball left, so let's get our head out of our ass and start hitting the ball.
They need you to go back to the ballpark, sit behind the dugout.
I do.
And ride these players.
You're
You know
right.
what? Forget Rocco. Screw that. Here's our new plan.
I'll do it.
Tom Barnard pissing off the players so they give him the finger, but then they get so mad they start to win games in spite of you. How about that?
I'll start out with, because I do like Joey Gallo. I think he's got a lot of talent, but hasn't been doing too well lately. But every time he hits into a double play, strikes out or whatever, I'll scream out, typical Italian. Just go right after their personal information. You know what I mean? Typical Italian ball player is all I have to say.
Cut right to the chase there.
Yeah, you cut to the chase. Exactly. You know what? I got to start going again. You know, one thing I do want to do eventually, because somebody had talked to me about doing that years ago, because we were screwing around last week, talking about Harry and all that stuff.
Yes.
I was asked one time in full makeup, because I did shoot in a promo with Kent Herbeck once in full Harry makeup.
Okay.
Harry Carey is who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I should go sit up there with Dick, full regalia, and just be Harry for a game. Just get these guys fired up.
Oh, God, that'd be glorious.
That would be wonderful. Get up there. It'd be fantastic. Like, who's the one guy you really count on the most on that team?
On that team?
As far as hitting is concerned, anyway.
Well, it probably should be a guy like Correa.
Yes.
If he could hit 220.
220
So he's
would be
probably
good.
the guy. I mean, he makes $36 million a year. I think it's fair to count on him.
Would it be the greatest to get up there and on the national television or the television broadcast, whether it's national or not?
Sure.
Correa, wasn't that a war? I think you just go after. I just go after him like a son of a bitch. I would love to do that.
Spell his name backwards.
Oh, wait a minute.
How you spell Correa backwards? And then the best part is he would take time during the at-bat to do it and try and pronounce it.
Oh, I know. Well, Harry used to do that all the time. Anderson, N-O-S. I mean, he started reading it backwards.
That's not a very creative name.
I loved Harry Carey so much. Herb Carneal.
Mm-hmm.
Are you too young to remember Herb?
Oh, no.
I just
I
wanted
grew
to
up
make
with Herb.
sure. Did you really?
Oh, yeah, I loved
I
Herb.
thought he was wonderful. And then Halsey Hall, was he still around or is he already done?
No, I missed him. I missed him completely, which I, to this day, regret. And one of my biggest complaints about the Twins franchise is this. Halsey Hall, who had a room named after him in the Metrodome,
Yes.
is not in the team's Hall of Fame.
Why not?
John Gordon, help me out on this. I've been trying to say, and look, how is Halsey Hall not in the Twins Hall of
you're
Fame?
right.
Herbie
You're right.
is, John Gordon is, numerous. Bob Casey is. They all deserve it. That's cool. Halsey Hall deserves to be. I don't care if you, me, and Royce are the only people that remember him.
Mm-hmm.
He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
There's no doubt about it. He did things. Well, I told you, he made the one great comment, and he started laughing so hard I thought he was going to choke to death. This is a boy, by the way, for the younger people on the show here, that used to sit in the booth and eat gigantic raw onions. Can you imagine how that smelled by the time the game was over? His breath must have been horrible. He would eat it like an apple.
A hot day eating an onion. That is my version of hell.
Can you even imagine that?
No.
How that must have smelled?
No, it's so vile.
I can't. I had a 6th grade teacher who used to eat onions like apples.
Really?
Shut it.
Yeah,
Really?
Just straight up, just bring them right in. She'd peel off the one, the crispy layer on the
crispy layer,
outside,
yeah.
and she would just.
It's an epidemic.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
Why would anyone do this? And I love onions.
But
I
not
love
like that.
cooking with onions. I put them at everything. I cannot. Ugh.
Yeah.
Look, he should be in the Hall of Fame just for what he said about that couple under the blanket who were kissing.
Yes.
He should be in the Hall of Fame just for that, okay? One of the greatest comments of all time. And he didn't even mean to do it. It was an accident. But he started laughing so hard I thought he was going to choke to death. I really did.
Tell us it.
So there, at a game, not a lot of people. There was very cold at the old Met. This is the outdoor ballpark, the old Met. And there's a couple, probably about a 30-year-old guy, 30-year-old woman, and they're under a blanket because it's so cold. And I can't remember who brought it up. It might have been Herb Carneal, whatever. It doesn't matter. Look at that nice couple over there. So they put the camera on the two. They're under the blanket. And Halsey, without thinking, said, you know, the great thing about that is you get, they're at the game, they're having a great time, and he kisses her on the strikes and she kisses him on the balls. And they started laughing and didn't stop for like 5 minutes. Because he didn't mean to say it. It just happened.
The giggles that would ensue. The giggles. Like, that would be so funny.
I can picture that to this day. I can picture that couple in my head. It was kind of like a what are they, the Scotch plaid, I guess?
Oh, yeah. Like a tartan blanket.
Yeah, like a tartan blanket, exactly. It was a tartan blanket, and I can still see, I don't think I'd recognize if I ran into them, but I can still see that couple's faces. And then it started as a very low, and then the laughing just got louder and louder. It was amazing.
That's the kind of stuff you go, that's worth watching that live for, and just
absolutely
dying over the giggles.
So can we get this team? They're still in first place. It's time to recover from this disaster that went on the last 10 days.
Yes. Yeah. I think that they definitely can.
I hope.
I just hope. So here's my hope, though. I think the question is this: can the pitching remain this good? Because my problem is you're wasting wins.
Yes.
Like you're being given every chance to win, and you're wasting that. So I think the bats are definitely, and they probably won't go nuts, but I think the bats are definitely going to come around and they'll score more runs. My question is, can the pitching stay healthy, and can it stay this effective? Because if it can, this team should win this division by about 10 games.
Yes.
That's the thing. Yep. If I'm not mistaken right now, Tom, there is no other team in the division above 500.
No, the division's terrible. We should have a 10-game lead by now.
And the White Sox are just a mess. They got talent, but they're a mess. Mm-hmm. Cleveland is always a professionally run ball club, but they can't. Here's the frustrating thing: they can't score runs, and they beat you 2-3, and you won the first game.
I know.
So yes, the answer to your question is yes. They can turn this around offensively, but are they going to have wasted just a slew of fantastic starts?
Yes.
And because I don't know that it's fair to ask the pitching to keep up being as good as they are right now. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they are third in baseball, in all of baseball, in ERA.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they are last in all of baseball in batting average at 220, and there's not much to suggest that they deserve. I always hear this. Now, batting average doesn't matter anymore. Well, yeah, okay, let's look at more statistics because those matter.
Where did they come up with batting average doesn't matter anymore? Where would you even think that?
The analytics community, which, by the way, runs a lot of baseball now, too, dismisses batting average almost completely and RBI.
What?
Runs batted in are not that, to them, they're not that big a stat. They look at all these advanced stats. The problem is, when you're playing as poorly as the Twins are offensively, there's not a lot of stats that you can torture into looking good. You just can't.
And again, had they made the effort they should have made, they would have tied that game eventually. I mean, they just didn't do it.
Yeah.
And
again, the bases are loaded. The bases are loaded against a good pitcher with nobody out.
Yep.
You've got to score a couple of runs.
Yes, you do. And they did. They could have. But they just, to me, it looked like they weren't even giving it an effort.
Oh, boy. I mean, when the guy doesn't run from the box, it's hard.
Right.
It's hard to debate you on that.
Why would you stand in the box and look at that? It makes no sense to me.
I don't know, because it's a ground ball.
Well, let me give you an example. Like at 10 o'clock, 26 minutes from right now, I'm going to look over at Brittany and go, let me get the hell out of here, and I will run out of the studio just to get away from Brittany.
Yeah, you do know you have another show at 10:15.
Oh, that's right.
So
I forgot that part.
You're going to have to run your little butt back here.
I forgot that part.
I'm the only one who can slough off the rest of the day.
That's right. What do you mean the rest of the day? You
the
mean
rest
all
of my
the day?
career.
All day long?
I say that loosely. My career.
My career. I want to go watch my Twins win baseball games. Can that get done? Are they going to do something about this?
Yes, because it's baseball. They will do something.
Yeah, they have.
And they're fortunate to be in, again, as we just discussed, a division that's absolutely putrid. But I'm not one of these people that dismisses games in April and May. There's some that say, well, it's early. Oh, those wins still count.
Yeah.
They're still important.
Yeah.
Like, you should be up right now by about 8 games.
I was going to say at a minimum of 5.5 to 6 to 8 games. You're 100% right.
Yeah.
Somewhere
that's my
between
problem.
6 and 8 games they should be ahead right now, and they're had 2.5. I mean, what a joke.
Yeah, what are they? I looked it up for you today.
I think it was 2.5. I'm pretty sure we have.
Immediately forgot. Yes, 2.5 on Detroit, which is 7-3 in their past 10.
There you
go. But I mean, just as an example of how bad this division is, right? The Twins in run differential, which is a pretty important stat, are still plus 26. So they're very good there. Plus 26. Detroit, Cleveland, Chicago, and Kansas City, which is how the division stacks up right now, minus 37, minus 22. Chicago is minus 61.
Oh, God.
And Kansas City is minus 59.
And they take 2 out of 3 from us.
Yeah. And yeah. Well, and Cleveland did. Yeah.
And Cleveland did, yes.
Yeah, it's disturbing.
All right. I've had enough of you.
I'm sorry to depress you, but
I'm
great
sick
stories.
of you.
I want to hear more stories. I want to hear you recall more stories of star baseball players from the 70s flipping you the bird.
It's never ending.
Pissed them off so much. It's awesome.
It is never ending. The one guy I made fun of once and then never again was Jim Rice. I'll close with Jim Rice.
Okay.
He was walking back to the dugout, and I was sitting behind the opposing dugout for this game. Jim Rice is a very famous Boston Red Sox player, phenomenal. Had a little edge to him. He was a gigantically strong man, right? Mm-hmm. I have no idea how he did this. He was walking back to the dugout, and I was riding him pretty hard the whole game. He struck out, and I go, see, I told you, I'm going after him. He took his bat and snapped it in half.
Oh, my.
Give that a whirl sometime. See if you can do it, because I can't do it.
No, hell no. So just with his hands, though?
Yes, just with his hands.
Not with the leg?
Nope.
Oh,
he just put his hand way to the right and way to the left. Bam! Snapped that bat right in half. I cannot believe there was somebody strong enough to do that.
Could have been your neck, he said.
That's exactly right.
God, that's scary.
There is I've tried to do it, and there is no way I could do that.
But you kept talking shit.
I kept talking to what? What's he going to do, come through the fence?
True that.
Probably. Probably is. All right, you're late. We got to go.
All right, sounds good.
You pill. Thanks a lot, Judd. Skor North's Judd Zulgad. Ladies and gentlemen, I love working with that guy.
Yeah, he's legit.
He's a good man. There's no question about that. So what do you guys think? Do you think the Twins are going to be able to bounce back and start scoring some runs again? Oh, my God, they look terrible.
I feel like, I don't know, they're still number 1. So, like, I know nothing about Twins, but, like, that's not nothing, right?
No, you're absolutely right. They're still in first place, and I'm very happy about that. But it's just, I think the biggest thing that's hitting both Judd and me is the fact that they're just not, it looks like sometimes they're just not making any effort.
Yeah.
Nick Gordon standing in the box, watching himself hit into a double play, which wouldn't have been a double play had he run it out.
Yeah.
I don't understand how the hell you can do that and cash your paycheck.
Right? Yeah, that would frustrate me to watch the minimal amount of effort. But, maybe they're just having a off couple weeks.
Yeah, but minimum effort still.
But look at me.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, if you want to do minimal effort, get into radio.
You're right.
Right?
I've just been cruising. Cruise control.
Whatever got you to get into radio, by the way?
Gelfand.
I mean, but what were you doing before you got into radio?
I was going to school, and I joined the military, and I was going for journalism. I didn't really know what I wanted to go into. And Gelfand is a very close friend of our family.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he kept showing up we'd go to a bunch of family events all the time, and we'd chat all the time, and he's like, just try radio. So
you didn't meet him at KQ. You knew him before KQ?
Yeah.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah, he's he gets his hair cut by my cousin Manda, and then
okay.
He dated somebody. He dated like my cousin Manda's sister-in-law. I don't know. But he just always kept showing up, especially like Christian holidays. He wasn't doing anything on like Easter, so he'd just stroll on over to our place.
Yes.
So that happened a lot. And Gelfand, he's just always around. And I remember he came to my 21st birthday at the VFW in Uptown.
Oh, I remember hearing that, yeah.
And we just had a blast. I mean, he was always around. And we loved Gelfand. And he just kept telling me, you should try radio. You talk to everybody. And you were I think he didn't want me to go into newspaper. He was a little worried about the longevity there.
Yeah, that's not good.
And so from him, I got an internship. I got the interview with Brent Wilcox for an internship at KQ.
Brent R. I miss him.
I know. I still
Great
talk to him
guy.
all the time.
Do you really?
Yes.
I love that guy. Where's he working now?
He's a realtor.
Yeah.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
Because he worked with, what's his name, for a long time? Brent over at Renter's Warehouse.
Yes, he did.
He worked there a long time, I know.
And then after the internship at KQ, I just kept sticking around. And I did every job at KQ, it feels like. I mean, we would show up to I did every promotion there was possible. I did that for years. And then got the overnight on KQ. And I still remember that call. Reed called me, hey, you want to do the overnight? Because I was starting.
Oh, Reed Endersby. Another great guy. Another really good guy.
And that was the beginning of the end. And I've been broke since.
Did you ever hear what Steinmetz did to Reed? Did you ever meet Reed?
I know
Rudy?
Reed very well, yeah.
Oh, you do know Reed really well.
He's
great
lovely,
guy.
yeah.
My favorite thing of all time when Mark Steinmetz was the general manager at, I guess at the time was ABC, that owned the radio stations, and Mark Steinmetz was the overall general manager of all of them. And I loved working with Steiny. You needed anything, Steinmetz would take care of you. He's a really nice guy, at least to me. I don't know about to everybody else. I think he was, but the one thing he wasn't good at was knowing all the employees in the building because the president of the company flew in from Disney. He's a good guy, actually. He's a very nice guy. And Mark is going around introducing this president of Disney, not what's his name, Bob Iger, but the guy right beneath him.
Okay.
I can't even remember his name, but
I don't either.
He was an interesting guy. But Steinmetz is taking around introducing everybody in a circle. This is, Tom Barnard, and this is so. He gets to Reed, and he goes like this, and I will never forget the look on Reed's face. It was wonderful. He goes, and you should meet Reed Underling. Reed Underling. Endersby Underling.
You know what? In situations like that, just stop at the first name. Don't guess. Don't guess.
Reed, if you're listening, Underling, call in right now, damn it.
Do you know what was so rare about Reed that I've yet to have happen at any other station? Reed was the last person who ever air checked me in the history of ever. And I was so thankful for that.
Great guy. Reed was a great guy to work with.
After Reed left, nobody was like, let's listen to what your voice. I mean, I had every week we had to listen to how terrible I sounded on the overnight, but it was so helpful.
Well, they couldn't hire another underling, though.
But, think about that. Nowadays, people just get on the mic, and that's fine, but you never listen and work on yourself at all.
Yeah, they don't. They used to.
They used to, and we used to have to, it was so painful to sit up there and listen to all your breaks. You'd have to record them on a little tape cassette, and me and Reed used to do that every week on the overnight, and I would always be like, my pit in my stomach, knowing I'd have to go in his office, but I'm so thankful that we did that.
I'm going to do that to you.
Oh, no.
I want you to meet Brittany Arm Carr. That's what I'm going to do.
I thought you meant air checker.
I thought so, too.
Yeah, I'd get too pissed off if I air checked.
Could you? Oh, my God.
Couldn't do it.
If Tom said we have to come in and listen to all your terrible stutterings and...
plus the listeners do it every single day already.
They're doing it to you anyway.
They're far nicer than Reed or you would ever be.
Reed was a great guy.
He
what
was
do you
great.
mean?
I'm just saying, he was critical in a good way. I'm
in a good way.
very thankful for Reed. I'm very thankful because I was excitable. And so I'd get on the mic and go, oh my God, ACDC! Every time.
I understand.
And he was like, so we need to work on that.
We need to work on your excitement level.
Yeah.
Now, that was a good crew back in those days, owned by ABC Disney. Had great people working. There were a couple assholes, but not many. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Those were good times.
I had a blast. I loved it. I loved going to Moondance Jam. I loved going to, even we'd go to a jewelry store for a promotion and I'd have a blast. I loved it. And I loved that I got to drive the big KQ vehicle everywhere. I loved it. And I had so many T-shirts, my whole outfit. I think my whole personality was being a KQ intern for a while.
Did people bother you when you drove the KQ vehicle?
Yeah, but in a good way.
Yeah, in a good way. That's
Yeah.
I shouldn't say bother you, did they?
Yeah.
Draw your.
They're like me. If you like something, and I'd always, I loved. I mean, you just felt like people automatically had feelings about you, no matter what, good or bad. When you'd roll up in the KQ vehicle, I loved it. I loved being a KQ intern. I highly recommend it.
Well, those days there was a whole different setup.
That's true.
Somebody told me the latest numbers that they looked at, they're down 27 points. Other than that, though, things are going really well. It's really too bad because that place was legendary.
Yeah, I know.
It really was.
I was going to Brown College at the time.
Oh, yeah.
At that point, and everybody was like, "You got an internship with KQ?"
Oh, yeah.
And I would show up reeking of alcohol to class because we had just landed from Vegas that day. Just a wreck. Just a wreck.
I thought that was terrific day so far. I liked talking to Judd a lot, and I thought that Luke Russert was just a great guest. Very, very nice young man. I hope he does come in the studio when he comes on a signing tour.
That'd be cool.
That will be terrific. I know we got to take our last break here. Be right back and wrap things up right after this.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, Mike Lindell and MyPillow are launching MyPillow 2.0. When Mike invented MyPillow, it had everything you could ever want in a pillow. 20 years later, he discovered a new technology that makes MyPillow even better. The MyPillow 2.0 has the patented adjustable fill of the original MyPillow, and now with the brand new fabric that is made with a temperature-regulating thread. The MyPillow 2.0 is the softest, smoothest, and coolest pillow you'll ever own. Say goodbye to tossing and turning and flipping your pillow over in the middle of the night. And more great news on the MyPillow 2.0. Buy one, get one free offer with promo code TOM. MyPillow 2.0, with its temperature-regulating technology, is 100% made in the USA and comes with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Just go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square to receive the MyPillow 2.0 buy one, get one free offer. Just when you thought MyPillow couldn't get any better, MyPillow 2.0 gives you the best pillow ever. Promo code TOM or call 800-516-5146 to get your MyPillow 2.0s now.
What can Hubbard Interactive do for your business? Let's take a listen and find out what they did for one local company, Steve the Window Guy.
I'm Sally, and I'm a digital brand strategist here at Hubbard Interactive. We met with Melissa from Steve the Window Guy, and she was looking for help with their video advertising strategy. So we helped build a comprehensive plan for streaming TV and YouTube ads.
And Melissa, tell us how it's been getting your message out with help from Hubbard Interactive.
I've been working with them for 5 years, and what I've learned is that they have both the experience and the depth inside their team to help me solve any creative marketing challenge that I've got. So over the years, I've moved from radio ads to streaming TV to YouTube ads, and now we're moving towards SEO. And I'm loving the results that I'm seeing.
Is there anything else you want business owners out there to know about Hubbard Interactive?
I am so grateful for the entire team at Hubbard Interactive for effortlessly understanding our business and our marketing vision, and then always delivering only the best results.
To find out how our experts can help your business grow, get in touch today at hubbardinteractive.com.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I just looked at this headline you guys sent me earlier this morning. Tipping at self-checkout. Why would you tip anybody at self-checkout?
Right? Does the money come back to you?
That makes no sense whatsoever, unless you're trying to just support the whole place.
I don't know. I feel like the tipping thing is just everywhere, and I don't know when I'm supposed to be doing it, when I'm not.
Yeah,
it's just added to every, and you're like, I don't not want to pay you, but I also like, I want to be able to come here more than once a year because I can't afford it because I'm tipping out everything.
So, do you have an example of the biggest tip you ever heard of, and who left it?
There's a great old Frank Sinatra story where he was in Chicago and he walked up to a kid. He was like the valet at like a country club. And he goes, hey, kid, who gave you the biggest tip? Or he goes, how much is the biggest tip you ever received? And he goes, $100, Mr. Sinatra. And he goes, $100? Who would give you $100? And the kid said, you did, Mr. Sinatra. Totally forgot. Frank had totally forgot that he had given him $100 because Frank's big thing was whoever gave you the biggest tip, he was going to make sure that you remembered Frank Sinatra as the biggest tipper.
Remember how he used to phrase it too? Whenever he was with somebody, like Jilly was the guy. Was that Jilly was always with him, right? Or was that with Jackie Gleason? I can never remember.
No idea. But
it doesn't matter. But he had a sidekick type of deal, and he would say, "Hey, do me a favor, Duke 'em a honey."
Duke 'em a honey.
Duke 'em a honey meant give him $100. How cool, Duke 'em a honey. I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the biggest tip I ever heard of, and it was, oh Christ, it was a quarterback in the NFL. He was on TV, blonde guy, kind of a handsome guy. What the hell was his name? I can't remember his name. Doesn't really matter. But he had, apparently it was like a Monday night game or some damn thing, or a late game on a Sunday night. I played for Dallas too, but I don't remember his name.
Troy Aikman?
Yeah, Troy Aikman. That's exactly who it was. Troy Aikman. I don't know why I forgot his name. But Troy Aikman wanted to go have something to eat after the game was over. There was only one place in town that was still open. And he went in there, and they said, well, we're closing up. And he goes, oh, man, I'm starving. Is there any way you can stay open for like, half hour? I promise I'll eat in about a half hour, all the rest of it. Left a $10,000 tip. That's pretty
awesome.
impressive, baby.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
$10,000 in cash, too, by the way.
Yeah, I'd be like, if I was a server, I'd be like, everybody go home. I got this.
Yeah.
Okay, now let me ask you a
this.
question. From the two of you, the percentage of that $10,000 that went to pay income tax, it was cash.
Yeah. You don't claim that.
I'd be walking around going, that Troy Aikman, what a son of a bitch. He stiffed me.
Stiffed
Did
me.
not give me $1.
Didn't even leave a tip.
Mofo. Listen, I may or may not have been a server for many years of my life at different times, and I may or may not have claimed exactly what there's a paper trail of.
Yeah.
Is what I'm going to say to this.
That's what you're going to say?
I'm going to say this.
Okay.
I mean.
Customers are being asked to tip even at self-checkout, which I don't go to self-checkout ever. I just don't do that. I like stand in line and schmooze, because I know most of the cashiers of the places I go.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So
you
you're
know.
not a self-checkout guy. I don't see, there's people that I go, yeah, don't self-checkout. That's
Really?
Yeah,
So
I
you don't
love
think I'd be
you,
good at it
Tom.
anyway?
I think you have a lot of talents in this world. I think figuring out new technology in an efficient way, and
Yeah.
you're actually pretty good with technology. You're not terrible.
Not really.
You're
I'm not terrible,
You're
but
not
I'm not
terrible.
good either.
But like, I wouldn't send my like stepdad to self-checkout. And Richard, again, not terrible at technology, but like, why? Why take on a new thing?
No, I just like it because I know the cashiers, so I just like to schmooze with them
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, that goes all the way back to the Lunds there in Golden Valley by our old house. The new one at 50th in France. I know all the checkout people there. I just like to go there and schmooze with them, and, they're listeners too. That's the other reason I don't go to self-checkout. Self-checkout is not a listener. I want you to know that.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to argue. I feel like I'm supposed to go, yeah, it is. There are some really harsh cameras in some of the self-checkouts that have made
really?
me very insecure. Target, I'm looking at you.
Really?
Yeah, they like angle it all aggressively, and all of a sudden I'm like, that's... If I robbed this place and you could recognize me from this photo, I would be so offended.
You're going to rob them?
Yeah, rob them blind.
There's nothing wrong with that. What the hell? It all works. Yeah, those... It is kind of interesting because there are some people who only go to self-checkout. They won't go to a live cashier.
So Rudy, since you randomly will self-checkout, I'm guessing, I just made that assumption, what's the number of items you think is appropriate to self-checkout?
Good question.
Anything that is in a basket. If you can fit it all into a basket, then great. If you got a giant cart and you're there by yourself, like, hey, man, just go through the line.
I know. That's how I would say, I say anywhere, I'll even be generous, 20 and below.
Sure.
20 items and below, you can self-checkout. Otherwise, go. You're not faster than the people at the checkout, so stop.
So you think 20 or less?
20 items or less. And that's me being very generous.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, that I don't know. I got to be honest with you. I've been through it with Catherine, but by myself. I've never been through self-checkout by myself. I just don't. I like schmoozing with the people I know.
I watched people straight up steal at the Target one day in the self-checkout. Yeah. Just straight up walk out with a bunch of stuff, scan like one item, took the rest. And I was like,
really?
I think they're on to you.
God, my ex-stepdad used to always put a case of Diet Coke on the bottom part of the cart.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then miraculously forget how, and then he would be like he'd laugh about it on the way home. I'm like, great job, Dillinger. Way to go ahead and bring it.
Exactly.
Oh,
You're a
Jesus.
thief.
It's so funny you said that. I had a friend who always claimed that as well, and it was always a thing of Red Bull. And she'd always be like, yeah, I can't, they didn't scan it. I'm like, you know what you're doing.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
You know what you're doing here. Try to pull that shit at Costco? Good luck.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, they're on to you.
Costco's
Oh,
good at that
yeah.
stuff?
Oh, yeah. They're not missing that bottom rack because that's
love
$20
Costco.
right there. I mean, those are big items.
What's that sandwich they have at Costco that's so damn good?
Well, they have the hot dog that's so good.
I don't know. This is like a roast beef sandwich or something. I can't remember what the hell it is, but it's really good, man.
Not in the. You're not saying in the cafe area. This is you buy and make at home.
No, it's in the cafe area.
Oh.
You can buy. With the pizza, they make the pizzas and all that stuff. It's right there, and it's like a roast beef sandwich or something. It's really, really good.
Amazing.
They do a nice job. That's all I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I love Costco.
I do too.
Yeah.
Well, how could you not like it? They have great stuff there.
Plus, it's like stuff we're gonna have anyway, so I might as well have a mass amount of it.
You know what's really weird about Costco though, and it's the people that shop there, not the people who run it.
Huh? Tell me.
People at Costco, for some reason, leave items in the wrong area. Like the last time I was there, I was walking past the deli section, and they had all these, like, I don't know if it was Coca-Cola or whatever it was. And I'm walking by, and what the hell is that? I walk over, and there's just a pair of baby shoes sitting on top.
Sure.
That apparently they decided they didn't want to buy.
That place is massive. I see the laziness
Yeah,
could
but
come out
go
easily.
put it back, for Christ's sake.
There are two types of people at Costco, and me and my husband are perfect examples of them. There's me, when I know exactly what I want. I know exactly how to get there. I'm not there to peruse. Like, I have my list. And then there's my husband. When I send him there, he dilly-dallies, walks around like he's strolling in Central Park. He drives, people like that drive me crazy there because I get it. There's things to look at. My husband will send me 100 photos. Like, do we need an inflatable pool? It's only $80. And I'm like, what are you doing? You're supposed to get like avocados, chicken, bubble water and get home. And he's like, I saw this, and he's just sending me all these photos from there, and I just know he's driving every person like me crazy, slowly walking down every aisle. Brittany, there's a great deal on this blender. What the?
Do you need a new blender?
No, hell no.
Of course not. Of course not.
Hell to the no, Justin.
I don't know. That's fascinating stuff. I do love going to Costco. Is it unusual you guys like going grocery shopping? Because I do.
It depends on how much time and energy I have.
Well, I suppose, that's a big part of it. But in general, a little grocery shopping, how bad can it be, right?
Are you guys, with your guys' grocery shopping, how many days can you buy for, like for meals?
It's because I eat pretty fresh. I usually got about 4 days. So I just buy enough. Yeah, a lot of salad, a lot of fruits, a lot of veggies, stuff like that's going to go bad.
That's pretty good. 4 days isn't bad.
Yeah.
There's some men in my life that it's 1 day.
1 day, yeah.
Which blows my mind. So you're going to the grocery store almost every day.
That's me.
That blows my mind.
I think it's just because of that freshness issue you're talking about.
Yeah, and it's also something to do.
And it's something to do.
What the
That's
hell are you
true.
gonna do? Just sit around all day? Like, just especially nowadays, it's like it's fun. You get to people watch, like pick up something. Like, there's something about it. My mom is like always, you need to buy like a week and a half's worth of groceries. I'm like, what?
That's me.
I'm like, what am I, Atlas? Just bringing all these bags in? No, 2 bags. That's all you get. I got 2 hands, 2 bags. It'll last 4 days. I'll see you on Thursday. Target.
I am like, here are the 4 meals we're gonna have. Here's what the leftovers. Like, no, I don't want to go I try to go once a week, but I have to hit up then my specialty shops randomly as well. Cause like Cub is like my go-to. And
for some things, Yep.
Kowalski's and Byerly's is like a special treat when I go grab something. Costco, try to do once a month. And then like Trader Joe's, if I'm around at Trader Joe's, I'm gonna stop.
We were just there last week, as a matter of fact. That I love all those stores you're talking about.
You gotta hit them all up and it's exhausting.
I agree. All right, another show. My God, that show went by quickly. That was weird. That was three fast hours on that bad boy. That is everything. We'll talk to you tomorrow.